Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Appreciate you all joining me today. I didn't want to run too far behind starting this live, but for all of you who've decided to come and join me for Glitters today, I really do appreciate it. Come on in, Star Sykes. How are you? Hey, Miss Jennifer is here. Hi, Jennifer. Come on in, girl. And then we got Rosebud. Thank you, Rosebud. I love you always here. And then Chriso. Hey, guys. And I know there's a few people out there watching as well. And I have no idea what Chantel is up to today. But if you have come and joined us to talk a little bit about glitters today and a little bit about her running, then I'm so excited because I am somebody who, as a cardiac RN, hey, Team Psych World, come on in. Come on in, Jamie. Come on in. We're taking a little break from our friend Foodie tonight. I just checked over and I don't know. I haven't checked in the last hour, but as far as I've seen so far, I don't check Twitch or Twitter or anything like that. But I haven't seen her post anything on YouTube. But I don't know if that's changed. But we're not going to worry about Foodie today. Hey, Mary, come on in. Hey, Bernard, come on in. Come on in. We're going to be doing glitters today because she's a running girly. And we need to decide if she has realistic goals or not. And so I have questions too about the Run Lab. So there's just a lot of questions always when it comes to glitters. I hope, hey, happy Wednesday, Lindsay. Come on in. Oh, thank you, Jamie, for reminding everybody for me. I'm terrible. Yes, please hit the likes and the subscribes and so forth. So just a little bit. I know most of you know me, but for anybody who's catching my live for the first time or on a replay through a search engine, I am Ray. My avatar name is Life and Vibe. I am a registered nurse with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. I also hold a Bachelor of Education. And I am currently residing in the United States, where I am a licensed registered nurse. So I have a lot of experience around the running world, which is why I'm so fascinated with glitters here, because not only have I been running since childhood, and I mean running as part of not only my school's team, but I ran for my city's team and trained all the time. So like any child, participating in a sport and going regularly to train with their coaches and so forth. That's what I did throughout my entire childhood. Running was my sport. And I meant to put up a little collage of some of my childhood running photos. So I have also run throughout my adult life and have competed, not, at any college levels or stuff like that. I probably, in the UK, it's a little different than in the United States. So I wasn't really on any scholarships for running or anything like that. It's a little different. So, but regardless, I have worked with running trainers here in my local area, where running is a huge sport in Virginia Beach, and have been answering questions for runners about making sure that they are safe and able to run. Yeah, run, Forrest, run. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't around for that one. Got teased a lot at school for surprisingly, believe it or not. I guess it's because there was a time when, when you're a girl and you're actually beating even the boys at school. And people would tease me about being a runner because I'd have to go on stage, at school assemblies and get the trophies that our team had won for the girls' team and so forth. And, people want to tease kids at school for anything that they participate in. And so I was teased for being a skinny runner. And so at some point, I'll try to bring up a collage because I have so many pictures of my running and stuff, but they're all over the place. And I don't have anything on any sort of central hard drive or anything anymore. And I'm not one to take a lot of pictures anyway, but I do have a lot of time I spent running. I've also worked at medical tents at the end of races obviously as an RN. Often our healthcare systems will sponsor or will be the medical provider for certain races in an area, and you will be offered an opportunity to come and volunteer. And usually with anybody who's like a registered nurse or anybody with any type of actual healthcare experience, you're paid to be in those tents. Even though a lot of other people are volunteers, you actually do get paid quite well to be there. And so I did work quite a few medical tents and so forth as a, an RN. So I've seen it, and I've worked with patients in rehab. So I do have a little bit of a background, not to get too laborious on this. Let's get to Anna so I don't get boring. You prefer walks over runs, Star? Yeah, and I think that's great. I have not been able to really. I got a brand new pair of running shoes the other day. I was very excited. Got a great deal, and I can't wait to take them out. One, it's been raining, and two, I've been telling everyone, which is why I'm an avatar and not camming up at the moment, is my nose is healing from a surgery, and it's just taking time, and I can't put any makeup, I can't put any moisturizer on it. I just literally soap and water at this point. And so until everything heals up, I'm gonna have to not do anything that's too sweaty or too hard going. I also had some some venous repairs last year, believe it or not. And part of it is hereditary. Part of it is like standing so much for the work that I've done, being a nurse, being a teacher, and then doing anything like a lot of, running and stuff. And obviously having been a distance runner and living right here at the oceanfront Virginia Beach, you see the beach right behind me. That beach doesn't take me but a few minutes to run to from my home. So you can imagine that many mornings I would love to be able to get out there, but I understand as a registered nurse too that I have to give things a certain amount of time to heal before I can really put pressure on stuff. So it's a patience game. So Junebug and I certainly do a lot of walking at this time, and it's certainly wonderful for your health. And so it's kind of fascinating what these Run Lab people tell Miss Glitters and Lasers, Miss Anna today. And for the past year, and it kind of, bums me out for somebody like myself who's actually won, races in her age division as she's gotten older and has participated. The hat that I'm seeing here is from an old run store, and I don't even know if they're still in town anymore. I haven't been that way over, but it was a triathlete store called Final Kick in Virginia Beach. And the hat I'm wearing is actually something I think I won at, coming in, the top 3 of an age division race or something I was doing locally. And so in my area, there's a lot of runners. So for me to be even placing in the top of my age division, because obviously I'm not a young female runner, it's pretty substantial. I did some pretty decent times. So with that said, I feel that I do have, and I'm sure there's plenty of people in the chat too, who do have experience in the world of running. And I've always kind of said running is one of those sports that if you think you're going to lose weight because you're burning calories through running, you're probably going to be really, really disappointed. Because unless you're really, obviously, very, been ultra trained and you are burning huge amounts of calories because your pace and your speed and the distances that you're covering are going to require huge amounts of energy, then for most people who are just kind of doing a slight 1 or 2 mile jog, you're really not going to be burning the calories that you really think you are. You are going to be doing really good stuff for your cardiovascular health. But I mean, in reality, if it's a choice between taking a healthy, faster paced walk and then putting yourself in jeopardy of your knees to kind of put a little bit more pressure and running onto them, I would take the walk. Because if she continues running like this, she will need to get a knee replacement. I don't know if she actually runs any distances either. That's the other thing. I'm very suspicious, which is why I kind of put the third choice into the poll today. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at the poll, please go ahead and answer the poll that came out from the start of when you came into the chat. I think there's a poll running, and it asked whether or not you think Anna's a serious runner, whether it's just for clicks and views, or if you're on the fence. And so she hasn't really lost a lot of weight, which I've said with running, if she's focusing on this, she's not. So it's just kind of like she's put this goal, which I don't think should be necessarily, in my opinion, as a healthcare provider working with somebody like Anna, I don't think that's a great goal. I don't think she's going to get all the bang for her buck. And she could actually do herself a longer term injury that could take her potentially out of being able to comfortably exercise at all. So I just doubt whether she really can comprehend that running is just not where she should be starting. And she doesn't run, okay? Unfortunately, you do have to reach a certain level of speed to be considered to be really a runner. And I unfortunately, I don't think Anna is hitting the sort of speeds to be considered really a runner. You have to, for example, really sort of just, run a snooty if you want. It hurt your knees, Chris? Yeah, it can be. And it's really, and there's a lot of it is about you've got to like literally weigh nothing because you don't want anything on those knees. And I've been skinny as a rail my whole life. But that's because of choices I've made in diet and how I eat, and don't really eat a lot of dairy in order to stay thin, in order to not really put any weight onto my knees. I mean, I was 5'9" and probably 125 pounds running, which is pretty, thin and tall. And I'm not much heavier than that now, to be honest. I am probably maybe 10 to 12 pounds heavier. I think I did a weigh-in. I'm under 140 anyway. So I'm pretty thin. Would a stationary bike work for her? I don't know, because her knees, Paige. You're going to find this out when we watch why this would not be a good choice for Anna specifically. You're not a runner? Right. There's some great running groups here. I mean, when I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina, there was a run group attached to every brewery in town when I lived there. And I had a blast because I'm not a big drinker, so I may have a beer afterwards, but I would run. And I could, I was up there really enjoying the runs with some really good runners. And it was fun for me to run because there was a lot of hills. And I was more used to running flat here in Virginia Beach. So I hadn't run hills in a long time. And there is a huge difference to how your muscles work when you're running from hill to flat. And it's a whole different thing. Like my calves don't quite feel the same. So I know that one of the things, when I was younger, I used to be able to literally just go out and run and I'd be fine. But now I know that I need to actually stretch and warm up before I even set out. Otherwise, my calves are going to seize up and I'm going to cause myself an injury. And it didn't used to be that way when I was younger. So things have changed for me physically over time. And it just does. My knees never hurt when I was trying to run. That's the crazy thing. That's good, Team Cyborg. My knees have never hurt either. I've never been, that's why I've been able to have such a long running career. And I've kind of taken a break, but I have I am sure that I will be returning. Like I said, a lot of my breaks have been because of medical reasons. All right, let's just get over to Anna because we've been chit-chatting for a while. I hope everyone's doing well this Wednesday evening. It's been really raining in Virginia Beach. So I am hoping to, seeing Anna run will give me some motivation. And I have no idea what Miss Foodie up to. I have no idea. We'll find out later. Right. Right, the recumbent bike. Absolutely. I had recumbent bikes at the rehab. And another thing that I found that one of my our patients liked, and then we were looked at oh, why have you still got that? Because I got 80-year-olds, and 85-year-olds in rehab, were a machine called the New Step. And that one, but the only problem for me is I do have slightly knock-kneed. And so the New Step for me, if I didn't place my feet correctly, was not great sometimes for my knees. But ever since I've had some work done on my legs, it's made a difference. So one thing I do recommend to everybody And if you want to, keep your legs looking pretty, everybody, or just to have good blood flow, is to wear compression socks throughout the day. And I know most people really balk at the idea, but I promise you, that's one thing I cannot live without, especially when I have to run now, or compression socks. And wearing like compression socks that I tend to purchase from like scrub shops and like so forth, because they have them like for nurses. And I had an old nurse tell me many years ago, if you want to save your legs, start wearing compressions. And so that's one thing that I've made sure to make use of, is a compression sock, and getting a good compression sock too. Anyway, so that's another thing, because I don't think Anna, from what I can see, wears any type of compression around her legs. And with her sort of lipedema, and I think she may have said she has lymphedema. I need to go back and double check on that. I know for sure she said lipedema. I would think that she would want to have some type of compression around her, at least her calves, something. I just don't see her wearing it. And I know, like I said, when I run now, I will not go out without some compression on. It's just part of it. You're not missing much of Foodie to say to side. She's just put out some clickbait, Chriso. I saw her like a little bit ago, and I didn't see if she put anything out or not. I wanted to respond to her first half of her live from yesterday, because she kind of talked about a lot of her health stuff. And I have a lot of thoughts behind what she claims is her health. Anyway, hey, Catherine. Is that the thing? Yes. And I actually find getting compressions from running stores are really good, because they will have so many choices and in different colors, and they're made specifically for each, very specifically will say right and left in order to compress. And so I find that if you don't want to get a gaudy, ugly pair of medical looking ones, the ones that you do get from running supply stores are really, you can get some good looking ones. And I used to wear those also on the floor as a nurse, and would definitely wear them on flights. And I mean, I wear them daily, because it helps bring venous blood flow and stops your legs and everything else from feeling tired. And that's part of the reason why people sometimes feel like their legs get fatigued, or they have back pain. Actually, a lot of it can be helped with wearing compressions. And any vascular physician would be telling you, if you see a vascular doctor, any of those people, they always wear compressions, because they understand how important it is just to wear them daily. There's like a doctor on Doctor's Radio, and he cannot say enough. And it's not because you've been diagnosed. It's just for if you don't want to have those, especially for my younger ladies and gentlemen in the audience, if you think you have any, and however you identify, is if you do find that your family members have broken leg veins, or varicose veins, or just any type, you definitely want to start wearing compressions very young, because it's going to save you a lot of unsightly varicosities and the pain that comes along with it. It can at least start to minimize it until you do need to get potentially a procedure like I had to finally get done. But it's really good ones. Yes. I'm glad. You should start wearing them. Absolutely. And the younger, the better. And you'll actually have prettier legs. And I say, for the most part, most of us are wearing clothes. And in the house, if you're in the house doing housework, definitely put some, just wear them daily. And if you do have a special event, or you are wearing shorts, or your dress or something, then take off the compressions, But if you're out even exercising or anything, I would strongly recommend using compressions, because what they do is help give the support to the veins to help with the blood flow return back up the body. And so it only but benefits you. at the end of the day. And like I said, running stores are great places because they'll have different, what they call milligrams of mercury to do with the different tightness. And they'll be designed to specifically go to each leg. And they should take a minute to get on. And my recommendation is, get your fingers a little bit wet ahead of time and just roll them on up. But it's very good to wear them. My 20-year-old, right, good for her. That's excellent, Summer. We all need to be wearing. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all to do. It's a really good. You're welcome, Catherine. Anyway, let's get over to Anna, who's not wearing any type of compressions. Let's see what our poll's doing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've had 53 votes. We've had 2% think she's really seriously doing this to be a runner. 79% so far have said no, it's all for clicks and views. And 19% are still on the fence. They're not sure yet. So let's see if after watching this video where she's at the Run Lab today, we might take a peek, see at some of her Instagram pictures as well. I try not to be jealous because obviously I don't get a lot of free stuff for being a runner. And I would love to get someone to sponsor me. Oh my goodness. Okay. It's the dream. Hey, shits and giggles, come on in. You had a bilateral. Oh, you should definitely want to wear. Double check too. If your doctors have recommended that and you're finding swelling, oh, absolutely. The swelling is going to be improved with compressions because it's going to help bring that fluid return. So the one thing that they really do recommend is to wear the compressions. I promise you, at the moment, I've got my feet up and my compressions on. So and I'm, considered to be a fairly fit. I have great blood pressure. I don't take any medications, and I'll be 55 this year. But part of my interest in healthcare was not only I just love, obviously being able to, understand the human body so much better, is that on a personal note, and I think, I'm not alone with this as being a healthcare professional, is understanding how you yourself are able to improve your health because of what you've learned and actually put that into practice so that you can have minimal amounts of medications, that you can have a good, healthy, long life, because it's not really fun to be on a bunch of meds, and especially this day and age. It's so expensive. It's so expensive. I mean, I heard this poor young woman talk about endocarditis. Anyway. So yes, if you want a cheap, very inexpensive way to help with tired legs, to help sometimes potentially lower back pain from tired legs, to help you get, really everybody should be wearing compressions. There's not really anybody on this planet except a baby, I mean, I'm talking about adults, obviously. And like I said, even young adults, to start using those to save your legs as as you get older, because you want to be able to have your legs and keep them healthy and good. I promise you, and we'll get to Anna, but I had a really sore knee. And ever since I've had the varicosity, because I had a vein going varicose over the knee, and I had a couple of bad veins, but ever since I've had that corrected, and I had different procedures to correct different branches of these veins. Oh my gosh, the knee pain. I mean, I literally could feel the vein like swirling and burning where the valve was hitting the top of my meniscus at the top of my knee. So unpleasant feeling and painful. And I was using diflucanic sodium, which is why I laugh at Foodie talking about taking tablets of diflucanac, because I was using the topical version to help with the knee pain. And ever since I've had this corrected, I've not needed to use that medication. It's been a godsend. So I do always say that, if you are feeling things, it could be a variety of things. I was getting some of the symptoms that felt like neuropathy, getting, massive amounts of itching, I mean, all sorts of stuff. All right. Anyway, let me not go on about that. But I'm just saying, yeah, we all coming in. Come in, Santiago. I found speed walking. Right. Excellent. Right. Excellent. And even doing that in swimming pools, I want to make sure I actually have a pool in my condo that opens in the summer. Do you know how many times I went last year? Zero. Because all I did, I worked 40 hours a week. I had 10 hours of driving. So that was 50. And plus all the just getting ready in the morning, getting to work, going to work, taking care of the dogs. Then I came home and I was at school with grad school. And I was just constantly, that's all I did was study then. And all weekend I studied. And no time really for much else for the past years. And so it's been wild. And so I'm just excited to be not going at that pace and being able to, take care of myself. You're out of breath when you put yours on, Team Psych Ward? When you put your compressions on, you now get out of breath? Oh, dear. Come on in, JB. We're just about to get on started. I've been rattling away about my life. We got to keep moving. Oh, absolutely. Hey. Oh, we do. We so have to keep moving. And that's, the biggest thing I have said. So if you haven't had a chance to hit the likes, hit the likes. Let's just take a look at this young lady here. So that's a little bit of my history. So I do want to kind of fill people in because I do have some thoughts about this. As somebody who has a lot of history and has been trained a lot as a runner. Okay. And I mean, I started my running career in the 1970s or maybe the 1980s. I want to say maybe 1980. It was 1980 I had my first ever race. A long time ago. All right, let's get going here. Let me see. If I got her on the stage? Yes. Let me get me smaller. Anna says, can she be a runner? Facing the hard truth. I don't know if this should be a hard truth. I think it was an obvious truth. Let's be honest.
I used to really love running. I used to really love it. And it has felt so far from me for so long. I think that's what's most exciting about today, is that possibility is endless. And sometimes it just takes putting yourself out there and doing the damn thing to start the journey. That's what today's about for me, starting the journey.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I thought I was going to come out here and I was going to run like a quarter of a mile, and here I just did a mile. So my body just constantly impresses me and surprises me, and it is such an exciting thing. It's just really.
I don't want to take from Anna's moment. I don't want to take from Anna's moment of just the joy, because I understand. The first time I ever ran a half marathon and finished it, I felt really joyful. I get that. I understand if she didn't think, but I didn't really see her running. That's the problem. And that was what I was going to try to talk a little bit about, is that, there is an actual sort of bar that says you are a person who's somewhat of a competitive runner and you're just a hobbyist runner. And there is, time that you look at, even for just sort of amateur, there's certain things that says, okay, if you're able to do a half marathon and you're able to get under 2 hours, and you're really able to get under 2 hours, you're a good, you are a decent distance runner, And then there's the people that jog and walk. And so this is where I feel that she's using emotive language like runner when you just saw what she was doing really would be considered jogging. And there's nothing wrong with jogging. Absolutely none. I've done plenty of jogs. At the moment, I probably would have to start out jogging. and would not be able to run. It's just kind of how it is. My pace is going to be I'm so out of condition at this point because it's been so long since I've been able to really be able to run because of my stuff. Like I talk about my medical stuff, which happens as you get older, you know, I'm in my mid-50s. So, but I think it's not actually run. Yes. I'm not a trainer of physio or anything. I want her to be happy, but this is good. Right. We do. Exactly. And there is a lot of endorphins that will be released when you do any type of exercise. And they do have something which they do call the runner's high. And you start to reach at a certain pace and distance where you just really are like, your endorphins are just all flowing. And then there reaches a time where the lactic acid just builds up in the back of your legs, like I've had, even with compressions on. And it is so effing painful that you just want to cry and die. I've literally keeled out of races and poured salt down my mouth trying to get my sodium levels back up because I've had such a bad experience on some very long distance intense races. But we're talking, this is probably mile 11 of a hot race on a hilly race on probably territory that I was unfamiliar with. I would just get out. Yeah, she's kind of full of it, isn't it? Oh, you hate running. Right. And she's I don't want to take, but the thing is that kills me too, okay, is she's got those huge headphones on her head. And I don't think there's any serious runner that you would see wearing such a large thing on top of their head. Most of us are going to have a baseball cap on because we need to get the sun and everything just off the face. Because if usually most of us runners, we're outside. So you want on a pair of good running sunglasses, which I've got prescription. And you want to have like your baseball hat on, basically. And probably if you're out running, you know, where's her water? She's not even carrying water, is she? Anyway, let's keep going back to Anna. She's having an emotional moment, of course.
Exciting. And I can't even express it because it's like, there aren't words. There aren't words to feel like I have my body back. And it's really awesome. I used to love this so much. Just being able to do that today just felt freaking awesome.
Oh gosh. I don't really know if she's doing it. I don't know what's up with all the slogans. It's very emotive. It's like the music. I need somebody to help me produce some stuff like this as I struggle trying to get my new standing mirror into my house today as I clean my bedroom up. Finally, can you believe it? I've had my same condo for 20 years. I finally put a mirror in my bedroom. Other than the bathroom mirror, like the little bathroom mirror. So I don't have to use the storm door anymore to see how my outfit looks. So that's a step up in my world. It used to use the car, like the car glass to see how my outfits looked. So now I actually have a mirror. She's very performative. Oh, absolutely. But you know, that's what you need to get sometimes to get an audience. Okay, let me keep it going because it's got a black screen here. I'm guessing maybe this is Austin where she lives. Big changes take a long time.
Okay, so today we are at the Run Lab, and we are here because I want to run a 5K, but I realized that in a bigger body, there's a lot of challenges when running. So I want.
Ooh, I got a lot of questions. Okay, I got a lot of questions. I don't know if anybody's noticed, and I don't want to skin shame anybody, but her skin without makeup on is not very healthy looking. I don't know if she has a history of anything, but she just has a lot of open, like little lesions on her face. It just doesn't look as healthy, you know, for somebody who's supposedly watching their diet and exercising unless she has some type, unless that's part of some type of other medical condition that she has, which I could believe she would. Her poor skin doesn't look good. So here we go. She's basically next to this lady who looks like a runner. I hate to say it, Anna, but the lady at the run lab, I like her hat's cute. I like the purple hair too, because everyone knows I had my purple hair pictures too. So I totally feel this vibe of this lady. And it's so funny. She's 59. Oh, she's 5'9". I'm 5'9" too, Brooke. So Anna and I are the same height, but we are nowhere near the same weight. Yes, she's a chiropractor. And I have questions about the chiropractic industry. They are not legitimate doctors. They're doctors of chiropractic, and that's something that I'm always very skeptical of as a registered nurse. I think if people started using compression stockings, having good posture, not having a lot of weight around, I had an aunt who used to go to a chiropractor. I have questions. I just don't like things that manipulate the spine, just because the spine has so much important nerves and, discs. I just would never want anything to happen to my back. It's a religion. I don't know if she's from Austin, Mandy, but I believe she resides in Austin, which is I tried to get a nursing travel position out there, but the one I got was not even anywhere near Austin. It was out on the outskirts somewhere. I was going to stay in this apartment that just didn't. I was just I don't really want to live out in the middle of nowhere for 3 months in Texas and have to drive from Virginia to get there. So I ended up declining that position and taking a local travel. But anyway, you love your chiropractor? See, I know. And there's people that it really do. And that's why I promise you, my aunt loved the chiropractor. I'm one of these people, if I hear people even crack knuckles or do anything like any of those types of noises, cracks, anything, oh, I will be running. I think that good yoga practice and stretching and stuff like that is going to keep you far more supple and healthy, and hopefully avoid having to get to a chiropractor and to get this alignment. I just don't understand when you can do exercise and probably would get benefits from doing things that build your back strength. So doing, back pulls, and from a pull down position, you can even do those types of exercise. I do them just with hand weights in the house at the moment because I'm not trying to get too crazy, and try to build that back strength in order to create a structure that is stronger around the spine. That to me would be of more benefit than having someone manipulate my spine. That's just where I come from. You're picking? Oh, yeah. Oh, and I promise you, it is very popular, and a lot of people talk about the benefits of it. And I know they do involve in a lot of sport too, like running, bodybuilding. I know a lot of people involved in bodybuilding are chiropractors. So there is a sort of hand in hand that comes with sort of the sports industry, if you may, and the chiropractic industry. Just because obviously sports do put so much wear and tear on the joints and the body ligaments. But I think we're starting to understand, better about wearing shoes, wearing compression devices, maybe not going so hard on our bodies as in order to cause injury and over stressing it and overdoing it. Because that's part of it. And that's where athletes are a little different from us regular folks. Do you know what I mean? Because they are going to be getting injuries. So yeah, you do physical. Physical therapy is very different from chiropractors. Very different. Turn the page. Physical therapy is a medical modality that would be prescribed from a medical physician in order to help certain disorders or to help with getting an individual back up to health after, say, a procedure or surgery, say an orthopedic procedure or surgery, or say a stroke. They may get PT, physical therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy. And those are all modalities that would go along with helping heal an individual and work in conjunction with the physician, surgeons, whoever, or, for the patient. For example, if Foodie Booty truly had sciatica, she would be needing to work with a physical therapist. Many times sciatica is caused by a slipped disc, and potentially physical therapy can help do activities that could potentially move that disc back between the bones if it's, able to do so. There are those things to help with it. So it's a little bit different. You wanted to ask what they do. Is that for the chiropractor or the physical therapist? I don't know much about chiropractic except they do alignments. And it's not a medical therapy. It would be under the alternative therapies. So it's not a traditional medical therapy. They are not MDs. So they're not medical doctors. So doctors are chiropractic. And it does go under the sort of complementary alternative medicines as far as we look at it in the healthcare industry, just to give that a heads up. Oh, you're very welcome, Paige. Thanks for the info. You're welcome, Paige. You're welcome for the info. TENS units are great. Yes. And they are ones that will be recommended for people that need to help manage their pain. It can be tough to get insurance sometimes to pay for it, but it is a medical device. They're not as prescribed as they used to be. Not as prescribed. Okay, let's get back to Anna talking to the runner chick who's got the purple hair like I used to have. Must be a runner thing.
Wanted to work with somebody who could help me run correctly so I don't injure myself. I also really like them because when I talk to them on the phone,
the eyebrows,
they don't buy into the BS that bigger bodies can't run. In fact, it's one of their goals to show people that more people can run.
Right.
So today I'm going to run on a treadmill and they're going to tell me what I'm
doing. Okay. One, her eyebrows are far too dog. She must have just done the dye because they are way too dog. Just to say, Anna, I felt that they were a little dark framing your eyes. That's just an aside. All the people that they said that they were showing about bigger bodies can run, I'm going to say that none of those people quite look the size of Miss Anna. And I don't want to body shame her, but she has obviously she's not wearing compressions, which she definitely needs with the lipedema. She's got a disorder that requires compression, and she's not really, doing that. Anyway, this is interesting. Let's keep going.
I'm doing wrong.
Anna.
Ish together, essentially, in terms of running. Okay, let's do this.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Dr. Kim Davis. I'm the founder and CEO of Run Lab here in Austin, Texas. My feeling and the reason for starting this company is because I feel that anybody who wants to run should be able to run. And we're all built very individually, right? So we base our process on helping people understand their own bodies and the way that they should move unique to their structure. So
right.
There's no right way to move. There's no right way to run. It all depends on you and the way you're built. So that's kind of what this company is built on and why we're here.
Right. And I'm afraid I'm going to have to disagree, even though I've never done orthopedics. I'm going to have to disagree with a doctor of chiropractic. I believe their study, because my old boyfriend's brother, he was wild. Oh my gosh. He was a bodybuilder guy. He's actually a professional bodybuilder. Just imagine. And he was a chiropractor. And I believe it was 5 or 6 years of school. It was quite a lot of years. And it was very expensive, extremely expensive, because it's all private. It's not, you're not going to find those at, the University of Virginia. So they go to specific schools of chiropractic, and it can be $100,000. So it's very expensive. You're not a medical doctor. You're a doctor of chiropractic, which is a complementary, well, what we would call an alternative medicine here in the United States. It's not anything that a physician would prescribe you for. They would send you to PT here in the States, physical therapy. I don't agree that every body is built for running. Anna's body is not built to run. Anna is, this doctor, if she were kinder, would say, when you're down 300 pounds, 200 pounds, then we'll talk about whether you're ready to start actually thinking about running. But at this time, your weight is going to put so much pressure onto your joints. Your likelihood, too, of needing to have a knee replacement is going to be greatly increased, up to 20% potentially, because of just her weighing more. So without even Anna running, her potential of needing a knee replacement because of her weight alone, and I wish I could remember the study, but I did read this recently, it was out of the National Institutes of Health, it was 20%. So she's already at a much higher increased risk for that in the future. And some of you have already mentioned that you've had this procedure. So one, you're in the United States. Healthcare is expensive. Every year, we're required to pay more and more out of pocket. There is a huge recovery for something like a knee replacement. Hannah is single. She's not married. We don't really tell her talking. I don't know how close she is to her family. She'll have to go through. I mean, it's just, they do one knee at a time. Often they want you to have lost a lot of weight before they might even do the surgery, because they don't see you as a good candidate if you're too heavy to actually get through the needed therapy afterwards. I've had patients frustrated by that requirement now, that they don't, why it's so hard. I had a lady who needed a hip replacement. And to get to the hip replacement, she had to have weight loss surgery. And during the run up to trying to get the hip replacement after the weight loss surgery, she discovered that her heart and her arteries were blocked up so bad, she needed a full, I think it was a 3-vessel coronary, or maybe she needed a valve replacement, but she needed something done to the heart. It was either a valve replacement or a bypass. I want to say it was a bypass surgery, because that's very common. So she then was required to have to finish her cardiac rehab, which was killing her because her hip hurt her so bad because of all the years probably carrying that weight. And then she finally, and then she was in her 70s by this point, and now finally getting the hip replacement. So she had, that was, what is happening now here in the United States. I don't know what it's like around the rest of the world, but that's what it's like here. And poor Anna, as much as she wants to glow up and have all of this stuff, is a doctor. Thank you. I'm going to read this out in a minute. She is, not, I believe, giving her very good advice, from my professional opinion, having worked with so many patients in a rehab situation. It says Dr. Kimberly Davis received their doctorate of chiropractic from the University of Western States. What's the University of Western States? In 2008. Prior to that, they attained their Bachelor of Science in Pre-Med from 2001 and 2004. So does that mean that she just wanted to be a chiropractor, or did she not get accepted into a med school after her pre-med? Oh, you've never heard of university before? Well, I'm guessing she was taking pre-med. I don't know if they still need some pre-med classes, and she just always wanted to be a chiropractor, or along the way she discovered it and decided to take that route. It's very expensive, or her grades were not good enough in pre-med that she then had to go to chiropractic, because you're not going to need any grades if it's a private school that much. You know, it wasn't like, even for me with nursing, I needed a really high grade point. I mean, like super high, super high. We're talking like close to 4.0. I think it was like 3 point something. Really, I mean, it said much lower to get into my college, but to actually get accepted in the few spaces that were available, you needed to be like 3.8 and above, pretty much, because they're so competitive. So I don't know. It's different here in the States, but so I'm always dubious, because chiropractors are going to have a lot of student debt, because it isn't something that I believe is financed through the federal student aid, because these are not, usual classes. So you're going to have to go out privately to get loans. And that's very expensive here in the US. So I always wanted out, why is this person telling everybody can run? Not everybody can run. And it certainly is not somebody who should be told she's a runner. She should be encouraged to walk a mile. Don't go out there calling yourself a runner, girl. That's just silly. It's just clicky baity. It's not fair for those of us who are.
So what's your goal besides just being able to run? Do you have?
Okay, so my
Take her
goal
seriously.
for right now, and here's the thing that's been like really helpful on this journey for me, is not setting goals that are like so grandiose
Yeah.
that I never get to them, or it takes so long to get to them that I lose faith in the process, right? So I thought, just like as a first goal that felt like realistic for me, is a 5K.
Kind of the way the process will work. I'll sit down with you. We'll go through your history.
Did you just hear what she thought her realistic goal was? A 5K. A 5K. That's 3.1 miles. She almost looked like she was just like barely taking out that mile run walk. 5K. I just think walking a 5K under an hour would be a good goal for her. I think that sounds like a great goal. But to say you're going to run, girl, come on. I guess for somebody like me, who like running really is been such a big part of my life. I have a friend of mine who texts me all the time. He's like, oh, I'm racing over here, running over here. Everybody in town knew me as a runner. And I have a lot of surfer friends, okay? I'm not a water person, even though I live at the beach, and there's a lot of huge run clubs in this area. So it's very easy. And I was very, very active as a runner. Until I got, like I said, but this is wild, girl. Come on. And then there's, I'm going to grow up, shits and giggles says, and I'm going to grow wings and fly. Absolutely. And guess what? I just won $1 billion on a jackpot lottery. Oh, geez. I'm not trying to be, dang, like, right, your step goal is 3K, trying to get active after years of bad health. Good for you, girl. I'm proud of you. Absolutely. And everybody can return to health to some extent. Absolutely. That's wonderful. Well done. All this fact. Right. And it's not that anybody wants to make anybody feel bad for choices that they make, because I've obviously worked in healthcare for a long time, and I try to be sensitive, because I've, being especially in the cardiac area, I've had patients, struggling with their weight when I've worked in cardiac rehab. And so I've had to explain also to people too, that for every 10 pounds that is lost, your blood pressure also lowers with it. So not only do you get the benefit of the weight loss, less pressure on your joints, actually losing weight does help with your blood pressure. And it does, there are studies that show and I can't remember to what percentage it goes down on the mercuries, the systolic and the diastolic, but it decreases. For every 10 pounds that go down, your blood pressure improves. And that's a great goal to have too, because the blood pressure is one of the best barometers for how your health is doing. And, I would have liked Anna to have taken her blood pressure before she just popped herself up on this treadmill. But anyway, it's Anna. And the fact that I think her goal is quite unreasonable to say she wants to run a 5K. Girl, you're going to be there all day. Why don't you just say you're going to walk a 5K in under an hour, like Santiago said? That'd be a much better goal, girl. Come on.
Your range of motion. We'll find your strengths, your weaknesses, all the things.
Yeah.
Then we'll put you on a treadmill. We'll film you from all the different directions, and then we'll aggregate all that information. And then we'll sit down and we'll say, okay, based on your current level of fitness, your current strengths, your current weaknesses, what does a training plan sort of look like for you? What are the things you need to work on to make sure you don't get injured? Because that's obviously our number one.
I'm not familiar with that university.
Get faster. You can never run longer if you're injured. And so first order of business is sort of injury proofing your body. And because you have this big foundation that you're building from of being active for this period of time that you're talking about, all of that stuff is going to be easier than somebody who's just getting off the couch and starting for the first time. All right, Anna, this is Dr. Roden. So he's going to be in charge of your care.
Nice to meet you.
Take you through the whole process and the assessment and all the fun things.
All right. We'll see. Already I have a lot of problem with all of this stuff. I'm sorry. I don't know. There's a place for complementary medicines and alternative medicines, but I sometimes think they mislead people, especially in the naturopathic when they're trying to, mislead sometimes cancer patients. I think that there's a place as a conjunction to have some of these modalities alongside traditional medicines. But if there are real medical issues, they're not the place that I would be going to. And I can promise you that if anybody were having a heart attack, that's not the place you're headed to. And that's why I always want to point out to people, when people really do have some serious issue happen, that is a life or death situation, they're not headed off to see any of these peeps unless it's to get a different diagnosis about their cancer. And if you've watched anything about Jessie Lee Ward, she was really grifted by a lot of these people at the end of her life. So I always just say, be cautious. Be very cautious. This is part of the reason why I am kind of on my channel, is that I do appreciate that there is benefits to synth therapy or yoga or music or complementary medicines. But sometimes in lieu of getting good blood work and following up with your doctor and watching your blood pressure and following some of the fads that these people do, I would just always be extremely cautious. They charge, I think, a lot of money for sometimes really bad advice. Whereas I'd simply start out with saying, put some compression stockings on. Goodness knows how many massages or goodness knows what they would prescribe. And they really cannot often prescribe. So it's just, I just say caution. Caution at all times of these people. Just caution. I have a question about their actual medical knowledge and ethics when they're encouraging it. Well, the difference is, Melissa, is they're not certified by a board of medicine. So when I, as a registered nurse, I actually had, and when, my work towards becoming a nurse practitioner, we have to get certification and licensure through a medical board. Now, they do have their own boards and so forth that they certify through within their practice, but they're not medical physicians. And so I always say, do due diligence and just be cautious, because these are people that I don't know if they have like evidence-based practice with peer-reviewed studies that are done in randomized controlled trials. And unless you can see that type of evidence, then I would be always very cautious. That's always my thing. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of these people around. And so, and they're really good salespeople. They got way more personality. I think, and it, right, exactly. And that's exactly what I was saying. There's a lot of compliments to it, but sometimes even in the nutrition stuff, they can get a little bit wild sometimes. I think in healthcare, we try to get people to have diets that we think are simpler and easier for an individual to follow and will give their best benefit, which is why at the moment, and I always talk about that Mediterranean style diet, if you've not been otherwise told to eat another way by a licensed medical provider, because I don't know, some of the states do allow them to actually prescribe medications and stuff. And I think it's very important that if you are taking medications, that they can understand and have licensure to make sure you're not going to have any interactions with anything that you're taking, because it's so important. It's just, yeah, it's just really important to do stuff. Right. And I wouldn't do anything that I would think would hurt your back, Paige. I would definitely keep away from a chiropractor if your back is bad. I would talk to your orthopedic surgeon about that, or an orthopedics. You know, I certainly wouldn't trust somebody who's charging me some crazy amount of dollars an hour, who could potentially, you know, if one wrong move could do some damage in my spine. And I just, it makes me very weary. What states do that? Allow them to prescribe meds. I think places like California and Oregon and certain states in the West, which is probably why Western states maybe is why that's out there, because out West, I think in the Western part of the US, there is more of these types of medical practices. And I think they do have more regulation involved in that. And there are states where it's just completely not allowed. I think like in Virginia, there are very tight regulations. Now, there are chiropractors and so forth in Virginia. But I think other certain things, there are some much tighter regulation around the fact that they wouldn't be able to prescribe medication. So every state is a little bit different. Every state's a little bit different. Okay, let's get back to Anna. But it's an interesting conversation and one we should have, because they can prey on people. Just be cautious. They're business people.
So today is about range of motion, strength, how you're walking, how you're moving, what aches and pains you have. We want to see structurally what is going on, how irritable the tissues are or are not. And then that will help us kind of create the profile that is you as far as getting your journey to that 5K and whatever else you want to do.
The first thing Dr. Roden did was sit me down and ask me a ton of questions about my medical history. He wanted to have a clear picture of
I wanted to go back. Let's keep going.
Where I was at currently, and then also understand any
wanted
aches
to
and pains I was experiencing that might be able to be
There. I don't want to shame, but this is a full-grown man that she sat next to. And he's obviously somebody who looks like he exercises and works out. Because he's pretty, you know, he's not scrawny. He's not overweight. He actually just looks like a regular sized man. But I'm not shaming, okay? I don't want to shame. But I just want, and she's 5'9", so she's a tall lady. I'm 5'9" too, so I understand. But she is a much, much bigger person to this man. And that concerns me for her to put her bones, just because you're carrying this, doesn't mean that her bones are any bigger than the bones that I have on my body. So her knees are probably no larger than my knees. And my knees, I don't have anything around my knees. I'll have to say my knees are skinny. And I have to think of her carrying that amount of weight on those on her knees and then trying to run with it. It just is madness to me. It's just madness why you would want to put your body or potentially break an ankle. Because it's very easy as we get older to have a fall I've sprained a couple of wrists that way. Just tripping and falling, put my wrist down. Left wrist. Always seem to want to put that one down. Running and doing some dumb stuff. You know, and I don't have a lot of weight behind it, but I've hit some falls. And it's bad. She can break an arm. I'm not joking. We live in this world at the moment with so much social media and stuff that we just have people setting very unrealistic goals. They get to make all of this money, you know, promote Run Lab and so on. Oh my goodness. It's just, this is, you know, she's, you know, I think he's going to tell her some hard truths. So let's continue.
He corrected through gait training and physical therapy. He then continued with a physical analysis. So looking at the flexibility and mobility of my joints. He even felt inside each joint to better understand how they connected, what inflammation I might have, and also if there is any existing damage.
Is this spot different than this spot?
A little, yes, but not much, but yes.
But there's a notable increase along.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do the same thing out here.
No.
Okay.
All of this would be used to design a plan that worked for me to help me walk and run in a way that was safe on my joints and prevented injury.
All right, so at this point, we are doing the gait analytics. So we walk and jog depending on the athlete's capabilities, in shoe and out of shoe, looking at their biomechanical faults or their benefits of what they're doing well. Once we know what those are, that will then create an individual protocol or plan of attack to address those anomalies that are causing.
So one of the things that I always recommend to anybody who wants to start jogging or running is that you need to go to just a running store. And I don't mean a Dick's, I mean an actual running store. And you need them to take a look at your running gait, because every runner has a different way that their foot falls. Some people are what's known as neutral, which means that you fall pretty, you know, dead center on your foot. Some people needs what they call stability. There's another, I think, is like prorated or something where people tend to like lean to one side on a foot. So it's different. I'm a neutral, so that's why. But it's good to find out so that you can get the right type of shoe for how your foot actually falls. And that's a way of preventing injury when somebody starts running. Another thing that runners know to do, and how running can sometimes start to get a little more costly, is that you can't have just one pair of running shoes. You got to switch your shoes out every day if you're going on the road. Because if you wear the same shoe every day, there's something about the fact that, you know, the way you're just overusing that shoe can actually cause injury in running. So you're supposed to have like 2 or 3 pairs of shoes, and you cycle through them each day. So every day you're wearing a different pair of shoes as you run, and that is something that helps prevent for injury. So that's one of the things when you start running can actually, people are like, oh, just get a pair of running shoes, it's so cheap. No, you need like 2 or 3 pairs. So it's actually a little bit more in order to prevent injury, especially if you don't really know what you're doing starting out. Like, it looks like Anna doesn't. All right, let's see what he has to say about her
stresses in different tissues in the body that are causing their aches and pains, or just the inefficiency of their run where they're working harder versus smarter. So I'm going to take you half step forward from here. Perfect. So we're going to go head to toe. I'm going to make you bend, twist, turn. We're looking for any limitations. If you do experience any pain or aches during it, please let me know. Okay. All right. So again, starting at the top, as best you can, rotate your head as far as you can, both directions. Just like our old days in hopscotch, single foot, single foot. All good. These are challenging. I do them on purpose, right?
Yes, I feel humbled.
Did not know I
Cannot hop anymore.
Okay. Do you notice they cut Anna's hop out? We didn't get to see Anna hop. I wanted to see Anna hop. You're an
Now
overpainter.
we're going to stand up on the treadmill.
Can I hold on?
Initially, yes. but ideally you're going to try
That's
to
good
walk.
that you know
Oh, I
to
can
get
walk
the
around
right
a
pair of
thing
shoes
running.
in.
I don't. We'll see.
Important.
I'm scared.
A lot more
only
to
gonna
it than
do
people
whatever's-
realize.
Okay, we'll make
Okay.
it work.
We're going to start with a walk. I'm going to get you up to what will be a comfortable pace for you.
Okay.
We're just going to incrementally go up, and you're like,
Oh
yeah,
my
this is about the
gosh,
speed I would
that's
walk at.
wildcat.
Okay.
Cool. All right, we're going to start it.
Next, we moved on to the physical activity segment of the analysis. And this is the part I was most scared for because I was going to have to run on a treadmill. And if you don't know this, treadmills are usually not safe for bigger bodies. They're just not designed for us. I think when you're outside, you just don't think about it, right?
Right.
Here, I'm like, am I going to fall
Exactly.
off of it? What's the speed? Whereas when I'm outside, I
that
can just
out.
be like, whatever speed feels right. And that might
Not a
be
runner.
different in each step. Does that make sense?
Off.
Fortunately, the one at Run Lab was safe, but that did not erase my anxiety based on previous experiences.
That is just
It's an evolutionary process when it comes to your walking and your running. Like, we're going to fix your walk as well. Not just make you a good runner, but make you a good walker.
Okay.
Because a lot of the concepts that we're going to apply in your jogging and your running also apply in your walk.
At the end of my assessment, I found out some pretty bad news. It turns out I don't walk properly. I have straight legs, which means I do not bend my knees at all when I walk. So before I even thought about running, I was going to have to relearn how to walk.
Do you hear that? Her knees don't want to bend when she walks. It's probably something, and I'm not a physical therapist, but I wonder if that's a compensatory mechanism in order to not bend the knees, because that would require her to actually then have to relift somewhat her body and that weight back up. And that's a lot of work on those knee joints. So her ankles are taking everything. Because if she's not bending at the knees, the only thing she's then bending at potentially is the ankle, or she's walking real flat-footed. She's been out there supposedly trying to run for the past year. She's going to need we're going to be hearing in about 10 years that Anna's getting a knee replacement. I'm just being dead serious. I'm not even being funny. I'm not, this is interesting. Well, I'm glad you're finding this interesting, Team Psych Ward. I'm finding it interesting too. Absolutely. And Kat, I am not a fan of all the complementary medicines. I think my problem is there are so many folks that do misuse the sort of sometimes the lack of so much regulation, and they can really do some harm. There was some biohackers and stuff that just ripped off this one woman before she died of cancer. And they really, took a lot of money from her. So I'm very hesitant around these types. We have a big, huge, whole centers of these things. And actually, when I was younger, I was much more open-minded. I was very liberal about this stuff. But actually, as I have become older and have worked in healthcare and have worked in medicine, I have become less open-minded about some of these practices, if that makes sense. And it's not because I think I've been indoctrinated, as Foodie like to say, in my industry. I just understand a little bit, I think, more about how the human body actually works. And therefore, things like crystals and stuff aren't going to budge anything. Do you know what I mean? Or, trying to tell people to take silver colloid or some wild stuff that's going to turn you blue. I just think that, there's a lot of snake oil in there. And so I rather be always on the side of skepticism in this, and need to see evidence in order to go forward. Because I think had I not started to be more that way towards my, mid to late 30s, I could have gotten dragged into some crazy nonsense that I saw some of my girlfriends getting dragged into, like MLM companies, multi-level marketing companies, Reiki healing, and all sorts of wild stuff. That, all this mindset, manifestation. It's just, to me, on a personal note, that yes, it's good to set goals and try to see yourself achieving those goals. And that's used a lot in athletes and so forth. But there's a lot of difference between that and having a realistic understanding that you just can't, envision being a runner. I have a lot of questions. That book, The Secrets, has a lot of, or The Secret, or whatever that nonsense was in the 2000s, that era. That book has a lot of things to answer for. It gives hope to people like Anna that they can be a runner one day.
Because right now, pragmatic, serious risk of injury.
Do you think this is actually possible? I'm being really real with you right now. Nothing I'm not being like delusional. Sorry, I was going to say delusional, like the kids say, but
yeah, that's very possible. Like we have people in every shape and size and form and different diagnoses that come in here, and they have different goals, whether it be marathons, 5K, just walking with the
energy healers. What the bejesus? I know.
Yesterday.
What is that?
They want to be able to go to Galveston, walk in and out of the water without not feeling pain or efficient. And so practicing mechanically what is different about an incline versus a decline or unstable surfaces and what changes mechanically is super important for them. And they want to be able to do that with their friends on Thanksgiving. So like for them, that's their marathon.
Yeah.
And we're going to crush it and take names and kick butt for that thing.
I am as glad that this man is giving Anna, and maybe they specifically, now think about this, guys, okay? We're going to get into the Anna lore here, the Glitters lore, and her little way she is. Now think about it. The doctor, the female, one of the partners, because I guess she and he are both partners in this business. She was the one who initially talked to Anna before she went in for her consult. Now that Anna's getting the news, really, and I'm glad that he's kind of realistically telling her that she just needs to learn to walk properly. So I'm kind of glad that he's letting her know this, but I'm also realizing they probably had to send a man in to tell her. I don't know if she would have received this as well from the female doctor without really melting down than from this male. I just wonder, because we know how Anna gets, because she melts down when women say stuff to her. She's not supposedly a big fan of other women, which is funny because that sounds like Foodie booty too. And I have girlfriends, guy friends, whatever friends. I just, I like people for people. I don't, never really sort of thought one or the other way. I've probably been a bit of a girl's girl actually to say anything, but I've always had lots of guy friends too. But she looks disappointed, and he's trying to be gentle and let her know that, her goal for Thanksgiving should just be able to have a correct walk, because it really is true that we always say, what do you mean I don't walk right? What do you mean I'm bored? I'm upright. I'm walking, what do you mean I don't walk right? But there is ways that, your footfall and certain things that if they aren't positioned, and she has to compensate obviously for her size. So it is going to throw the body, the skeletal muscle off, or the skeletal off, and could potentially cause long-term harm and wear and tear on joints and so forth. Like her poor ankles, man. Lord of my life. All right. Thank you, Junebug.
I'm sorry if I'm like getting teary-eyed. It's not intentional, but it's just like, that was me like a year ago. And this just gives me hope that there's like still so much more. Because sometimes you wonder like, okay, I've been at this for a year, which I know technically a year is not a long time, but like it feels like a long time.
Yeah.
And I think this is just coming at the perfect time for me to like just keep moving forward, because this does, especially getting on that treadmill, feels a little bit impossible. And I have more doubts now than they did coming into this.
Right. Yeah, a year later. Looks so pretty. Well, at least the dog
So I
gets
think
more.
the reason a lot of plus size people don't exercise, or at least don't consistently exercise, is like we get fed like unrealistic expectations of what should be achievable on your first time. And I think when someone presents something as like an easy at-home workout or like a simple step, right? And then you take that step and it's really fucking hard and you can't do it. You're incapable of completing what's supposedly easy.
Anna, you yourself are a plus size role model, and you're the one who's putting out these goals. So you only have yourself to blame. Because you're one of the biggest ones. You have 2.1 million followers on YouTube. So where did you get this notion from? I think your delusion is very apparent. And to say that, you know, who's telling people that? That's what I want to know. Nobody comes out the first time and does something perfectly the first time. I mean, that's just I promise you, you will lose your condition from running in a very short amount of time. If I was to go out and suddenly expect that I could run at the same pace that I was running at, you know, even 3 years ago, because I've had to have so many breaks from it recently, I'd be out of my mind. And I don't even know if I could ever return back to those paces again. In fact, in reality, I don't think there's certain paces I don't think I'll ever return back to. But this is like, you are part of the problem of saying that it can be done. It's you. You've been saying you're going to be a runner. It's you. Nobody else. I don't know what else to say. I just find it. And and then again, she's never said follow up with your healthcare provider first, who may say, hey, well, before you start an exercise routine, you need to, you know, just start doing this and this, or cutting calories here. And if you see some of the crazy meals that this lady cooks on her Instagram page, which we'll take a quick peek at that before we head out, then you'll understand. Oh, girl, you are your own worst enemy, Anna.
That puts a like mindset. It creates a mindset that like you are so far behind that it's impossible, that you can't even do the easy workout. So I just hate in general.
Well, you had a home workout on your thing the other day.
Easy workouts. And I think we should talk more about the fact that like big changes take a long time. They don't just happen from like 3 workouts. They don't just happen from showing up for a month or a couple months. Like I was saying when I was walking this, I was like, it was literally last week, and it's been almost 9 months at this point of me working out at least 3 times a week. I just now start to feel like it's a habit, and I just now start to not feel exhausted. And that's 9 months, right? Like that's not a couple weeks. And the more I do this, the more I work on my physicality and just like a lot of my health choices, the more I realize that it's like, it is sold to us as something easy to fix, and it is not.
So when we are running, you actually do a very good job, because you
I felt like a diaper in my butt.
Back and down. Squeeze your butt to make it come back down. Go ahead and lean forward into your foot and put your feet side by side.
I think if anything, this whole experience has taught me one thing.
Oh my goodness.
What do I do?
I got little animals. All right, let me get this off the stage. You can see where my mind goes. That's a palate cleanser. A little tiny kitten there, guys. Little palate cleanser. They found a kitten alone in a park. Little palate cleanser there. Anyway, so we can do one or two things at the moment. We can go over to Anna's Instagram page. In fact, I'm going to put up a poll. I'm going to end the poll I had. The first poll I had just says, do you believe Glitterandlazers is a serious runner? Well, it's no surprise that 80% came in with, no, it's all for clicks and views. 3% said, yes, you go, girl. And we actually had 17% on the fence. So I'm curious after you saw that video, whether or not you're still on the fence. So I'm going to end that poll right now. I'm going to add a new poll. And the new poll is going to ask, we could either finish tonight's live, what to finish with, what to watch, or what to look at next. Okay, and so there's two choices. And so if you want to find this poll when it comes in, we're either going to do Glitter and Lasers Instagram, where she has lots of recipes and running videos, and it's fun. It's fun to kind of check her Instagram because it gives her, you can see how unhealthily she eats. Okay. Or do you want to just check in on our friend Foodie? Because I hear she may have had some new nonsense out. All right. So I just released the poll. I'm going to give like 2 minutes on this poll. I'm going to just switch off. And so can you guys see where the poll? Can you see the poll? If everyone could jump in on that poll real quick and let me know. I'm just going to give it a minute to go and give everybody a chance to vote. And we'll see where we go to next. Loving this mirror. My God, it's huge. Oh, let me put some music on while this goes. Hold on, guys. I didn't even think to put some music on. Hold on. All right. I'm getting ready to close the poll. So I hope everyone had a chance to vote. Okay, let me take a look then. Let's see. It's exciting. I figured out how to use the polls and stuff. Okay. Oh my gosh. We were pretty close, actually. We have 24 votes at the moment. So those who have voted are going to get the say. And so I'm going to end the poll right now. It's Foodie. Foodie won. I guess we all want to take a little look at Foodie Beauty. She came in at 58%. So I hope everyone had a chance to vote there. And so, Glynis, we will catch up with you in your Instagram another time, girl. And we will keep following you up on your run journey because that was fun. That was fun. It looks like she can. Yeah, she definitely has some good B-roll footage in there. I don't know if you just can purchase that type of B-roll footage. I mean, I would love to. I have friends who are realtors, and I know that they have drones because they use those to get aerial shots of the houses that they sell. So I know that is very popular. I wonder if they would ever let me have. I'm sure there's some way you can purchase like drone footage of your city or something. I'm sure she has somebody who helps her with that. All righty. Let me get out of this thing about the 135-pound dog becoming obsessed with a tiny kitten, because that's kind of the stuff I like to look at. I like to look at the animals. All right, let's see what did Foodie come out with, because I checked her. Nothing happening. Oh, she went live an hour ago? Oh, gosh. Okay, guys. Oh, no. Oh, this looks terrible. Oh, I don't want to laugh. I don't want to laugh. But what is she doing with her headgear today? All right, let me bring her up. Okay. All right, guys. Oh, it looks like she's got a hoodie. Okay. She's no makeup. She's doing the no makeup look. All right, I'm going to speed her up to 1.5. She looks sad today. Just going to let you know. Foodie looks sad. Okay, let's bring her up to the... Let's bring her up. I just... Yeah, she looks very sad today. All right, we're going to go to 1.5 for Foodie, because let's see what she's talking about. She had a lot of health lies yesterday. She had a lot of lies about her health. So I'm going to let her play for a couple of minutes and actually listen to her, and then I'll try to make a response, because sometimes I miss some of her medical lies, and she gives a lot recently. So... let's just get ready, guys.
Jenna, you're first. Hello.
Well, Liz, you'll have to tell us what the surgeon said.
So the notices are working.
Buenas noche.
Hey, love the sound of rain, green grapes. Arity. Ruins of Coolness. Mimi. Hi, Energy.
That's okay.
Jenny Arp. Marbles.
You come back and
Tam
see
Tam.
again.
Sweet love. Hello, babe. Thank you.
Foodie's not for everybody.
Brenda, Stephanie Reyes, Nicolina. Salam alaikum. Lisa P. Zoe. Silvael. Hello. Thank you, Mimi. Thank you, babe. Tangerine. Big Dot. Bepis. Hi, Nelly. Tian Moonshine. Hello. Gwen, hello. Hi, Ava. Hello, Beezer. Fernanda, hi. Just Beezin. It's just Miriam is alive, that's all. Welcome, salam, Sanella. Happy Wednesday. Oh, yeah, it is. Hey, Anna, Sophia. Sabah al khair. Masah al khair. Tasbah al khair. I don't say these right. Sarah Jean, welcome, salam. Cassidy, Victoria. Lisa P, hi. Angel's Beauty, I am not going now. I did a video about it, how I changed my mind. Look at that pronunciation. Rylan, thank you. My sleep schedule, yeah, of course. I think my CPAP monitor is gone. Hi, Kim Richards. Creepy Comfort, hello.
Come on, Foodie, fit.
What's going on? Welcome, salam, little doll. Habibti.
She's crying.
Hello, Olga. Yes, it is me. Thanks, Tian. You said hi to me twice. You are special. I'm doing okay, Ageless Beauty. How are you? Baking and cooking with Georgia. Thank you. Can you make, you're from Italy and you bake, can you make cannoli? That's my favorite, one of my favorites. Cassidy, I'm feeling mentally a bit better today. Yeah. You know, I feel better that I've made like a final decision and I don't have to worry about these, you know. I can settle in. I'm going to try to find things, you know, to do here. Maybe take some Quran study, maybe take some Arabic lessons. Thanks, Fernanda. We're going to see.
Hasn't she been there already for over a year? I can let you know that when I moved to Mexico, I've been somebody who's lived in a different country very far from England. And Mexico might be a country that Americans are familiar with, but when you're from England, brought up like I was, you're not very familiar with a place like Mexico. And so the minute they offered us to have Spanish classes, I took all of those opportunities straight away. I mean, within a couple of months of being in, a couple of weeks probably of being in the country. That's what I'm saying. She just all talk. Oh, shush up. Look like you just woke up and realized you hadn't made any coin today and you better get on the air. Because she's not even got food set up. She literally looks like she woke up, still got her makeup on. She hasn't even bothered to get her hijab on properly. And she's just out here now going live because she suddenly realized that she needed to get out there for the day because she'd probably been sleeping from a diabetic coma from that cheese breakfast that she had the day before. Because all that was cheese and carbs. I mean, somebody else, I think it was Chikara, she also mentioned that and I keep saying this over and over again, that the serving size for hummus should be about 2 tablespoons. And she eats that on 1 piece of bread. She eats literally her serving in a piece of bread, and it's about 800 calories probably going in her mouth. She eats thousands of calories. I think she just woke up and got on live to her audience. Oh, God. Pitiful girl.
But,
I'm gonna keep
I don't know. Ramadan's around the corner. I'm pretty excited for that. And I'm excited also to bring you content. So, yes. Excuse me, miss. Yes, I'm here to break up your boredom or increase it. I don't know which. Hello, Yema. Yeah, I feel happier today. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. My eyes, my cat.
A lot of
Oh,
calories.
I gotta stop hugging and kissing my cat.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Thank you.
Has she a
Tell me a
history of
bedtime story.
allergies to cats?
I know, Ageless Beauty. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. I know what that's like. I just came out of a rough patch.
Or is that the diabetic retinol?
No, Zoe. It had nothing to do with Salah or anything like that. I honestly, it's just always conflicted between both worlds. That's all.
Oh, and one of the things I wanted to mention that we didn't kind of look at, or we did look at, and then I don't think a lot of other people did because they were like, oh, because she said at the beginning, the wedding ring was off because she didn't want to get chicken grease on it. And we all had a poll here as to whether we thought she'd had an argument with Salau. And I think that ring was off that day because they were arguing. And so she was threatening something that day. And because her mood was being all weird. I don't think it was the chicken grease because she's ate many a meal with that ring on with chicken grease everywhere. So something was going on. There was something brewing. Oh, look at how smug she looks. Oh, I love that for me. I love that for me, that Paul's story. God, she's still swollen on this side. But I think she just woke up because she just got a hoodie on. So she hasn't even had time to get dressed properly. She's like, oh, darn, I got to get live, man. I'm running late. I'm running behind.
Yes, I am, Sanella. I'm getting ready. I can't wait. Cannoli cake. What? Imagine cannoli cheesecake. Hi, Z. Thank you, Ageless Beauty. I hope you do too soon. Thanks, Creepy. No, it's a hood. I have an undercat, but I need to go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go today to go to look at some hijabs and make like a vlog of going out shopping, but like I can't get my sleeping under control. And yeah, I just wasn't feeling good. Like, I don't know. Hello, Capricorn. Hello. Kitty Charms. Hello. Yeah, let's just all bees. Yes, babe. I'm excited for Ramadan. Second Ramadan with you. I've been here since the baby era. Love just a son. Thank you.
I mean, technically, with her, one, she doesn't need to do Ramadan as a type 2 diabetic. And the way she's unmanaged, it's probably not recommended. She would probably be better off trying to fix her sleep, so she's not up all night just trying to eat, but that she's just, waking up maybe a little bit earlier in the day in order to eat before the sunrise. I think they need to have it between sunset and sunrise and eat then before the sunrise and get going early in the morning and then right at sunset, maybe eat and then trying to get to sleep and try not and be up in the day and not go nocturnal the way she's trying to edge towards, because that does really mess your body up. And she's already physically a mess. So, yeah,
I'm glad you enjoy.
Recommended, girl.
It is normal, I think. I think I realize that, but I feel so bad. Like,
Yeah,
You
she
know,
did just roll out of bed.
Daddy, a DFS. I'm good. How are you?
I don't know.
No,
why
Zoe, but the doctor
she's
never
done
ordered
this
any
for
for
him.
me, so we'll see. Hi, Kiki. I look like sandworm. MRI bees. Hi, Caroline. You love Jersey. I find the Jersey are like more comfortable, but I find like the Jersey ones are most comfortable. The chiffon ones, I find I like how they look more, but they're not. I find they slip if you don't like tack them in place. You know. Hey, Charles Reed. Nice camel. Yum, Daredy. Cannoli cake has cannoli filling as the icing. Yeah, I know, ageless. Like spaghetti meatballs, mashallah. Yeah.
Oh God. She doesn't
Depression
need to
is
do that,
physically
Carla.
exhausting on your body, you know, and I see a lot of mental health shaming, like so much of it, like you're just lazy. Oh my gosh, you have to do this, you have to do that.
Oh gosh. Okay, victim. Stop trauma dumping on your poor audience over here, girl. Oh my goodness. You are very exhausting for everybody around you. And this has got to be about the worst outfit I've ever seen you in. You are exhausting about it because you talk about having mental health issues without actually talking to anybody, having any therapy, working with anybody, doing anything to actually fix it. So that's why people think you really need to probably hush about it, girl. It's the repeated record.
I agree though, like
It's not shaming.
it's almost impossible to do it when you're feeling super exhausted, but it's like I kind of feel like I have to try to push myself to do things, and then you know what I mean, like it's my second Ramadan already. Hi, just ate. There's so many salons. Yes. Hi, Melissa. Welcome. Kiki. I didn't decide. No. Tea and moonshine. Do they sell linen ones? I don't know.
It's just hard to imagine that she's not even 40 and she's talking about pushing herself to do stuff. And I think if you do have a life where you don't feel a lot of goals or purpose, it can be very difficult. It can be something that can give you situational depression. And so, but there's something different between actually having situational depression and having a major depressive disorder. And I think that's what she needs to kind of understand. And so her just throwing terms around in a blanket way and then trying to use that as a protective shield for her to ever receive criticism is not a very honest or a very good path to take, in my opinion. I mean, it's so classic of her to do that, but it's just, you know, it's like, no, you can't hide behind that shield because you don't address it. And two, some of yours may be potentially situational because of what you put yourself into.
Yeah. It's exhausting.
And the
hey, Ghostface. Salam alaikum.
calls you to have depression.
Getting up does make me feel better, but I just can't do it sometimes. I feel, hi Heather, when I'm really exhausted from just being so depressed, and I know bed rotting is not healthy either. That's where I say I have to force myself, but like you have to go through before you feel better, you have to feel worse. It's like, do you know what I mean? You have to be so uncomfortable at first, and it's so hard. Like your mind just tricks you into staying the same. It's really messed up. My second Ramadan, yeah. So I haven't just
You are dangerous and should not be talking about mental health to anybody in your audience because you are not licensed or certified. You are just a bloody idiot. Stop it. You don't trigger warning your stuff. You're really dangerous, girl. Talking about depression. There are people who actually really do have these disorders. You don't understand what's going on. You're just lazy, girl. You're lazy and you're slovenly. Stop saying it's depression. It's because your health is poor, because you ate yourself into bad health. And then you sit there and eat a bunch of nonsense. It is hard to have, if any, sympathy for you, girl. It's just terrible.
decided. Hi, Rylan. I haven't decided on
this
yeah, I'm gonna go shopping, see if I can find something like else.
to be off of YouTube,
You know,
in my opinion.
other deals.
She's
I
so
don't know.
dangerous.
There's a lot of deals pre-Ramadan.
Makes me
Ew,
so mad.
spit line. Vitamin D, yeah.
No one takes her advice. I hope so too, Rosebud. But unfortunately, I think her audience does take her.
I was seeing a lot. So this thing has been coming up on my For You page. This $120 million wedding of this like
Right.
Indian
A
business,
lot of
Indian
bad
billionaire's
advice.
son, Anant. I
It's
forget their last name.
absolutely
Hey, Meep.
red-
Very abaya. Thanks, Moonshine Molly.
Timmy.
Lynn, hello. Welcome. Vitamin, you can probably from sticking your head out the window. Yeah.
Sorry.
Here's our emoji queen, Vanessa. Hello, Vanessa. Rihanna performed and she twerked. Oh my gosh. You know what? And I heard like they were, I don't know. I have like my opinions on like super billionaires and like if you put all of the even just a couple billionaires together, they could like legit solve all of the world's monetary problems. I swear. Like $117 billion to me is like, I don't know. Hi, Elaine. But anyway, that's neither here nor
And you legit, Chantel, could have afforded to have paid your taxes in Canada in order to afford your health care. Because that's how they pay for stuff out there. It's not free. Okay? I've lived in a country with nationalized health care. And I understood that in my paychecks in the UK, there were taxes that were taken out. And there was money taken out for national insurance, which paid for all the health services. So I always, and the more you make, the more you contribute to national insurance. So for you to not even understand how your healthcare system is funded makes you an absolute buffoon. You're a buffoon.
there. Everyone has their opinion on that.
Buffoon.
They do some nice things, but there's also like some political controversy I read about. But anyway, my point about this wedding is,
but she is about.
You know what I would want to do just to troll people if I was a billionaire?
I don't try to.
I think I would have like the most budget party ever, like a budget, like low budget themed expensive party. Like serve everybody like a bunch of wieners and like McCain cake. Would you imagine that? That would be so cool. A billionaire has to do that, and just play like pin the tail on the donkey. I don't know. Hi, Crystal Tom.
Chantel, and you would be one of these billionaires who probably wouldn't want to pay their taxes or do anything that would be even slightly altruistic. You have not you have no altruism. And stealing a cat off the street is not an altruistic act, girl. It's typical for people like her who don't actually pay taxes to bog off about billionaires. Promise you. I don't like that group of people either too much because I hate wasteful consumption. And I find that they tend to be people who are very wasteful. And I'm not for that. It's just how I run. I've always been a little bit that way. But this girl is like the way she wastes, packaging and food products and, all the styrofoam that comes through her house. Girl, be quiet, please. Nobody cares about your opinion.
Honest. A little bit. Thank you, Lynn.
You're uneducated with it.
You thrifted Louboutins from a thrift store yesterday? Yeah, that's crazy. Like 100, imagine 100. Warren Buffett's a billionaire and still eats at Dairy Queen, which he owns. Capri Suns and Pop-Tarts. Hi, Cynthia. It is their money. It's not their responsibility to pay for the world's problems. But Danielle, to me, it's still, it's unethical to hoard that much money, in my opinion, because they could easily give away half and still have, what, $50 billion, $70 billion, which is still unethical, in my opinion. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but have I thought about doing charity? I mean, I'm not a billionaire, right? So I don't have a ton of money.
No, Chantel, but at one point when you had a lot of viewers, you could have done something really nice like Are You Serious did the other day, which was give free memberships to her audience. She gave out, like, I want to say 5 or 10 free memberships just to give them away. It wouldn't cost you much of anything, girl, to be honest. But you would never do that. You're probably the no-name sending yourself your own chats.
Need to give away. But yeah, I do. When I'm better, I want ruins. I've done a lot of volunteer work in my life. I used to volunteer 40 hours a week when I was younger. So when I get to that point, I want to give of myself 100%. And I do give what I can here and there to like some charities for like Syrian.
When did Chantel ever work as a volunteer for 40 hours a week that probably wasn't court appointed, allegedly? I'm making that up. I have no idea. Her out here trying to make out she did charity work and stuff. Give me a break, girl. You've been too high most of your life to get it together to get out there and do charity work. God, you didn't even take care of the animals that you had. if you can't even do the basics of caring for your pets, how would you believe that it was charity work? Who did she think she's selling this to? She is so full of it.
Refugee camps? I do give some money. Like, we give some money for that.
No,
Hi, no name.
nonsense.
How are you? How are you? Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Shamrock shake. Ew.
Right.
Do you feel the same about the Sheikah quid?
Yeah.
I feel like anybody who hoards that much riches, you know, but I don't know what a lot of them give, you know, so I can't say.
Right.
I'm just making a point that, you know, imagine, I don't know.
Good. Unless charity work is shacking up with a crackhead out in Canada or shysting up with this dude out here in Kuwait, I don't know what charity work you're actually doing. Because you remind me of other girls that I've known in my life, and I don't want to be mean because I try to be very diplomatic, but classic that wouldn't give to their friends, probably wouldn't give a ounce of time to help a friend out really in need, you know, but would give half their money away to some dude who would look twice at them. It's the pick-me-girl syndrome. And you're full of it, girl. Any charity work you're doing is given to those catfishes.
No, because like having all that money can change you too. You know, when you don't have much money, you think, oh, I would help people if I had money.
Yeah.
But then apparently, like scientifically, when you have a lot of money, it changes
There you
how you
go.
think. I would help so many. Yeah, I would like to think I would too. That was just their pre-wedding party. Oh my gosh. Hi, Miss Mary. I'm not hating on anyone. I'm just making an observation, you know.
Oh, the Girl Scouts group?
I think it's Mint, the Shamrock, yeah.
Oh, God.
She helped homeless Julia and Howie. Yes.
That don't
I
count.
took those pets off the streets. There's no such thing as an ethics billionaire. Exactly, Zoe. That's exactly how I feel about
Oh,
it.
God.
Yeah. Even in Islam.
She's talking about taking pets off the street. Girl, leave those cats alone. I'm looking at you, girl. Straighten your eyes. Those dead eyes. Those eyes that are dead. Whatever. You got the itches going on. That's either the retinopathy kicking in or you got like a buildup of like, you know, bile salts from the liver. You got pruritus from somewhere, girl. Leave the cats alone in the streets. Oh my gosh. Trying to tell people she's doing charity work. She's in the Girl Scouts. I was a Girl Guide. We all did some type of school charity work. And that's just kind of what schools have kids do. That doesn't count, girl. It's the stuff you do when you're an adult, when somebody's not forcing you to do charity. That's when it matters. Or, you know, just taking, sometimes it doesn't have to even be through an organization. It can be through other ways that you give to people. Charity work. Like acting like she's some type of missionary out in Kuwait. Do me a favor.
You know, they believe that. So I have very flexible ethics when it comes to money. It's Mint. I'm sure they do help people. They don't. But if you look at the state of India, Danielle, there's so many poor people.
Yeah, I was a Girl Guide.
Meanwhile, the ruler has like billions, you know? To me, that's just weird. But I'm not a politician. Hi, Living Laura. Vanessa. Thanks,
I'm an
Cynthia.
excellent politician.
Thank you.
She said,
Don't you want to know how it feels to be healthy, slim, and feel free and beautiful? I mean, I don't feel like I have to be slim to feel beautiful, but I do want to feel healthy. Maranatha? Yeah, for sure. More than anything. I can't volunteer now, Robin, because I'm like really not healthy. I got to get a little bit healthier.
Ah!
But I was researching.
Oh, God. Well, girl, why don't you just shove 6,000 calories of cheese and crud down your gob? Because that's the way you're going to get healthy. Why don't you sit there like a human slug in your apartment and shove cheese down your mouth? Because that is definitely the recipe for health. Go on. I highly recommend it because it seems like it's doing you a hell of a lot of good.
For things I can do. Good evening, No Name. Welcome to the party. You are priceless, babe. Thanks, babe.
Absolutely.
The buyers are perfect for hot weather because they do have airflow. Yeah, you can get summer bias, so I'm gonna get some. Chamois shake season. Yeah, Zoe, I agree. Yeah, that's true, Danielle. You can definitely volunteer if you don't have money. I don't know if there's thrift shops, babe. Are there shops here in Kuwait where it's like they have? Okay, it's not like a thrift shop. See, it's like they have markets and bazaars, huge bazaars where they give away stuff. So yeah, I could take you guys there someday, but it's chaotic. There's a lot of people. You know, kind of hot.
Yeah, I could take you there someday.
Loyal Beezers.
She has a lot of, I could.
My loyal Beezers. That look funny.
Yes.
Cranberries and corn to perform at your wedding. If I could pick people to perform.
Chantel, you do look fun.
Oh, the cranberries. Well, I can't now, but yeah, I would. Maybe Bush X. Maybe Silverchair. in linen fabric. Oh, cool, moonshine. Hi, Crystal. Hi. Yeah, such a full finger.
Oh, yeah.
You got me wrapped around your finger.
They're out now. Here in the United
You made the
States.
homemade one,
They're
Ghostface? Nice.
expensive though now.
Tracy, member for 27 months. I cannot believe this. Pretty sure we these. I think I'm behind. Crystal. 12 months.
And that's your friend is how we know Chantel does not have sciatica. Do we need to know more about the lies that this woman tells about her health? And just the lies in general about wanting to do charity work now. I don't know where I think somebody probably said on one of their channels that why don't you do charity work? You got time or something. And so she listens to the reaction channels. And because she has absolutely nothing happening in her life, and we do have things happening in our lives or have education in certain areas or experiences or whatever our niches are, she then uses that to make content on her channel. It's wild. If you remember a couple of days back, we were talking about Lyrica and all the different medications for nerve pain and so forth. And lo and behold, yesterday she started talking about stuff like Lyrica. She just listens and then tries to pick stuff up and then brings it into her content. It's wild. So if you're familiar with other creators and familiar with my content and any other medical professionals who cover her and their content, then you'll probably hear it. It's wild. Absolutely wild. She has no personality. It's wild.
Thank you. Happy anniversary. Ready, set, release, Crystal. Thank you, Crystal. Okay, hold on here.
Right. Oh.
No name. Hello.
Right. There. Right.
Raisha Bees.
And now she's talking about.
Oh my gosh, you gifted 10 members.
Yeah,
thank you, no name. Wow, thank you. Welcome, new Beezers. Who is a new Beezer? No name is a Beezer. Ghostface Gamer. Dara D. Who else? Hi, everyone. Hi, EF. Shakespeare. Yes, thank you for the generosity. Wow. Welcome. Thank you. You want me to go somewhere crowded, Zoe? You'd have a panic attack. I know it. I could try walking, Robin. Crystal. DFS. Sarah Jean. Melissa. Crystal. Thank you. Candace, hi.
She talks about getting healthy, but she has no way to become healthy. Her health is so compromised. And obviously, we've been really lucky because I get some great other medical professionals who come into the chat and chat along with you guys and stuff. And we discuss how, and it's not to shame people. And I think that's really where I try to come in as a medical professional for somebody like Anna, who's out here like, oh, I should be able to eat whatever I've wanted my whole entire life. And then the day that I decide that I'm going to be a distance runner and super healthy, I should be able to do it because I made that decision that day. And it's without realizing that these are often habits that are built over a lifetime. And habits take time to build, and they certainly don't take a day. And Foodie never shows any habits other than the ones that she's been perpetuating for years, which is sitting in a chair and eating. There's nothing, and ordering takeout. And she tells her audience consistently, oh, yeah, I'm going to take you here. Oh, yeah, we'll go off and see this. Oh, yeah, we'll go off and do that. And that's what her audience is asking to see. That's what they want to see. They don't really want to see this person sitting here eating. They check in every day and she makes these promises to them. But it's just empty. It really is. And I think that's where I'm surprised that her audience is maintained. Because I think that's one thing as a creator. Now, everybody understands that if you said that something's going to happen and life happens and it didn't happen, then people will be like, oh, yeah, I understand. But if it's consistently always the case that you say you're going to do something and you don't go forward and do it, then it just becomes a tired lie. And she is just filled with tired lies. Filled with them. And that's why sometimes I don't like to really declare to do too many things, because once you declare it, people expect it. And now that's good if you really think you're going to go ahead. And I think, you know, people have used that to say when they've really decided they're going to set a goal and they've let their friends and their families know, or they announced it on a social media website because they want to be held accountable. And everybody understands that that can happen. And there's all people that accountability works. But she doesn't feel any accountability to anything. She's not accountable to anybody but herself. And she doesn't care enough about herself. Everything about how she treats her body, how she eats, how she interacts, says, I don't care about myself. Anyway, let's keep going. That's my
Thanks, No Name.
But that's
Chef Fondue.
She's a flake. Yeah, she's a flake. Boring. Flakes are
Melly,
boring.
you gifted 2 members too? Thank you, Melly. I don't know why I'm seeing all of these things very late. Thank you, Melly. You're so sweet. All of you guys are awesome. Freya, hello. Lumpy, hello. 111 Soulmates, yes. The dancing burger, I know. That's only on my laptop. Hey, Nosferatu. You guys are awesome. Oh, Capricorn was gifted from Melly. Thank you, Melly.
Yeah. Well,
El Petit, it's really easy for able-bodied people to tell Chantel how to exercise. Yeah.
oh,
I mean, I appreciate everyone's going to have their opinions. And
here's Chantel now, suddenly taking on the mantle that she's not an able-bodied person. Yeah, Sandra, hey, come on in, girl. We did Glitters and Lasers, and then we took a vote, and we decided to cover Foodie's nonsense. She sped up to 1.5. And, girl, stop it. Stop it. I have actually worked with people who are able-bodied, and you are choosing not to be able-bodied. God, you're pathetic. You really are. Stop milking. She's the worst, man. Stuff like this with her makes me so heated because she's so disrespectful to so many people, and she clings on. She's won. The reason why she continues in this manner is that she won that money in that case where she got fired from a job for being lazy, and you're very fortunate in Canada, and she used her weight as a reason as to why they fired her, and she won. So she has used her size to her advantage for years. So it's to her advantage. And now she's wanting to use it to her advantage to say she's not able-bodied. And then these types of people expect very able-bodied people to put their backs out and stuff, to move them, care for them, dress them, bathe them, you know, do all this stuff. Well, you know, really? There comes a time where you just have to say enough's enough. And enough's enough.
you know, and I appreciate
You're
people's
shameless.
advice and stuff, but yeah, you know, unless you're really living in the person's shoes. Pondu. It's a Pondu from the past. How about a troll account comes in as past Pondu? Instead of eating and talking, do a walk. Yeah, I eat and talk when I don't feel like doing much. The badge for new members, Crystal.
Oh, it was a
Alpha
separate
C Tango.
package?
Yeah.
I thought that Mr. Snowflake, that they had said that she'd won like legal action, or maybe I thought I'd heard somewhere else. Well, thank you for clarifying that. Even a severance package. Still, you know, here in the States, she wouldn't have gotten anything. She would have had to fight for unemployment. But she just quit her job, you know. Yeah, it's not as easy as that here.
Oh, I have so
Know
much I have
that
to do,
here
and I
in
need
the
the.
States.
I have to clean out my fridge.
Tough
which
here
I've
in
been,
the States, man.
like, I mean, not just clean out the food. I mean, like, clean out the shelves. Oh, do you know how hard that is when you have a bad leg? When you have sciatica, back pain, you have to bend and. Yeah, Lynn, I hear you.
Did she look like she had sciatica when she was waving those arms in the air? Like she just don't care? This girl has no sciatica. She's just selling sciatica quiet.
Okay, Marbles.
You're
No name,
full
please, my
of it,
advice. Be
girl.
happy, and I will be happy for you.
You're
Thank you, No Name. You're
already-
really sweet. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the support.
Disabled
No, I'm
people
not showing you my
do
fridge,
both.
Zoe. You'll barf. No, I'm kidding. It's not that bad. It's basically just like there's not even that much in it. Hi, misbehaving. Yes, babe. But I gotta clean it out, so I'm not showing you. I mean, maybe I could. I don't know. No, I gotta clean it.
Yep. Yes, Mandy, she has
Love
done this
water.
to herself.
I know a lot of you out there only drink Pepsi. Oh, look at this. What is that? Is this a corn?
Aw.
What do I need to do? What is it? I just noticed. What the heck is that?
And the lying.
What is this?
Just lying, like
Yeah,
telling
you can ask me a
lies.
question. Placemats in my fridge. I gotta do it. A wart. Doesn't hurt. You know I adore you, Chantal. Thank you, No Name. I appreciate that.
There's no name.
Who called you a dodo brain? I love that dodo brain.
All right, Chantel, tell us something interesting.
Yeah, it's okay.
Other than that you're stealing.
I have a wart on my finger. There's gonna be a troll account. Chantal's wart. Maranatha. Yeah. I think when a lot of people actually like I get judged a lot, like most by people who have been in my place. Almost like people forget how hard it is, you know? But yeah, I agree. I want to feel better, you know. I don't think I pinched my finger.
I'm sorry, Chantel. I've actually worked with people who give a crap about their health and want to get better. So since I've had a lot of years of experience of working with many patients and people who've also received really bad news and young and who've battled to retain their health, and you threw yours in the trash can. You're a loathsome human being who doesn't deserve much sympathy from anybody. And I don't have any at all for you. Because I know you're just trying to abuse every system. And you're going to get yourself in such a state of poor health. And then you're going to return your butt back to Canada and throw yourself at the mercy of their healthcare system. In which they're going to take you in because, you know, Canada's nice. It's a good job you're not an American girl.
I gotta get some of that. What's that stuff called? Not preparation H. What is it? Hi, intro.
Sciatica talk.
Pam. Hi, Pam Anderson.
Think of the sciatica.
Going to Disney.
She does
I can't
not
walk around.
have
I have to get a
sciatica.
scooter.
Everyone knows this woman does not have sciatica.
Yeah.
She ran from that camel
Vanessa.
when she
What am I
needed.
doing to feel better? Not a
If you
lot.
had sciatica,
Freeze away.
wouldn't have mattered.
Thanks, Elaine.
Sitting
Ew.
there waving
Napalm.
around you.
I don't know, but trolls say that. Probably not true. Compound W, Rachel. Yeah. Compound W. May
All
cause
right, Foodie,
intestinal
make it
bleeding or death.
interesting.
Ew, I have to cut my nails. Just don't look at me.
What are you
Yes.
doing all day?
Yeah,
If
Crystal.
you
It's
can't
not
do a
good.
manicure.
It's not fun. I don't even know when the last time is I went up a flight of stairs. I take the elevator. Dip your finger in cheese and have hair cut. What? It's just a blister?
I'm sure.
Okay, we'll see if it goes away. WD-40 carburetor fluid will fix it. I can't believe I took carburetor fluid and all over the stove.
I am sure that the Canadians are starting to get sick and tired of people milking the system. I'm sure. I'm sure the healthcare workers don't enjoy trying to care for people who haven't really tried to care for themselves. And then you're expected to do more for them than they have been wanting to do for themselves. Because we have to be honest. There are people who are willfully negligent about their health, like Chantel. Like this smug face sitting right here. This smug face written right here. Trying to let everybody know that she is being persecuted by other people because she is not fully able-bodied and that she has back pain and sciatica. Back pain, I understand. Sciatica, girl, there's no one who's actually given you a diagnosis. There's no diagnosis. You've not had an MRI. You've not had anything. You've no physical therapy. Nothing that you are doing that anybody knows. And even the beezers who come in your chat who said this, when I had sciatica, I had to go through this. You are just full of lies, girl. It's your neuropathy, and you just don't want to say it if your leg is hurting you, which I'm sure it is. Gosh, I'm not going to. It makes me mad. Right, it makes me mad too. It makes me angry for the Canadians as well, because I know that they're just tired of it, and their healthcare professionals are tired, no healthcare system wants people who think that they could just sit around. She did say in her mukbang that in home in Canada, all she wants to do is like nothing. Basically get high, eat, and do nothing. How do you expect to even have good health? You're going to have an event that's probably not going to quite take you out, but going to land you pretty sick in a hospital. That could land you months in a hospital. And as a healthcare and as a civilized society, they're going to spend every, possibility to return you back to health to release you. And it's time consuming. I had patients with heart attacks who were there for months in the hospital trying to recover because they had kidney failure along the way with it, had to have massive surgeries. I mean, just months in the hospital. And she doesn't care. She just doesn't care. And yet she's trying to say that she's the one that's being persecuted. You're full of shit. Pardon my French. Mierda.
And then I start smelling something like strong, like, paint thinner or something. And I was like,
Mierda.
what is this? This is some strong stuff. And I saw the can. Oh my gosh. The can of carburetor fluid looks like the oven cleaner. Okay. So then I had to spend like legit an hour cleaning off the carburetor fluid. Then I had to clean the whole oven and stove. Going downstairs is fine. Actually, if you go down too many stairs, don't you feel like you have to try to think of how you're going to, like you lose, like you have to, if you go down too many stairs at once, when you first start going down, it's automatic. You don't have to think about it. But then you have to kind of think about your footing when you do too many of them. Do you know what I mean?
I know. Chantel's the classic person who suddenly gets a migraine when there's shit to do around the house. Like she did on that camping trip. I have a lot of girlfriends who work as healthcare professionals, very stressful jobs, dentists, nurse practitioners, cardiac nurse practitioners in hospitals. Both suffered terrible migraines. Both probably show up to work medicated with migraines. So I've had teachers that I've worked with that they have had to go and lay in dark rooms between classes, sit there and with sunglasses. And this slug here, and I'm going to call her a slug because she's looking sluggy today with that little head thing. Sorry, she's just with the head popping up. It's just not a good look, girl. Oh, gosh.
You got a blister from all my gaming. I game with this hand, Capricorn.
So
no, you're right. I game with this one too.
she's pitiful. What part of the cycle is the pitiful cycle?
You get dizzy, yeah. I used to do that when I would visit my grandma. She lived on the 4th floor, but there was like 2 basement levels, so like 6 floors. And she would get so mad. She'd be like, "You go in the elevator, I'll come get you. You're not going up all those stairs," because she thought I would have a heart attack and die. I'm like, I would rather go out that way than get stuck in an elevator and go out that way. So, any new vlogs? Yeah, soon.
Is that video she has a ground floor apartment? Oh, no, she's a little higher up than that.
Go down the stairs sideways.
Oh, great. She's yawning already. She just got up.
Shukran Jazilan.
Oh,
it is 1:18 here.
Well done, Blonde Empress. Congratulations.
Julia, 2:20 a.m. in Dubai. Oh, you guys are an hour ahead?
Sure, Jan. Yeah, sure, Jan. Look at that.
Yeah, we have elevator, Mary. Thank you. Yeah, it's my Muslim name. Oh, thanks, Elle. Looks like you just woke up. Well, I did a few hours ago. On and off, on and off. No, he's not. He's in the chat. Rayo, would I visit Mexico? Yeah. I'll get to that in a minute. Hi, Dave.
Don't go to Mexico. Oh, my God. Are my Mexican chicas in the house? ¿Dónde están mis mexicanos? Porque ese chica va a decir que va a México. No creo. They don't want you there.
Daisy G.
They don't want you in Mexico.
Thank you. Your videos always cheer me up. Oh, thank you, Daisy G.
Way too much rice.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I'm glad that my videos cheer you up, for real. It's 4:20.
You don't need to be in a rice.
Mexico, I think is a beautiful country, but I'm honestly afraid of like all the crime from the cartels. I watch horror stories and I don't know if like I would want to risk it just in case. I don't want to be in one of those films where people get their limbs cut off. Yeah. That's like my worst fear. I don't know if it happens. Like
Exactly what parts of Mexico are you thinking you're going to be in that you're with a cartel? What are... Okay, I lived in Mexico for 7 years in the 90s, okay? And I don't think I might have potentially met a guy from a cartel in Acapulco one time. I'm not going to lie. But that was drunk in a nightclub with some friends. That was a wild night. That's all I'm going to say. I was just dancing with a local, and let me say, I was suspicious about what he was connected to. But anyway, Chantel, you are just so bad. You come out with the most xenophobic and god-awful commentary about other people's countries. God. I know Canadians are not this ignorant, thankfully. Thankfully, I have traveled enough and have known enough people around the globe to know that most Canadians are not like you and that you are shaming your nation. I just felt that little maple leaf on that flag in Canada hang its head in shame as you talked about your other North American counterpart country, Mexico, in such horrendous fashion. How dare you, you fat slug. Pinche gorda. Cállate. Tú no sabes ni pinche madre. Puta. Ojete. Cabrona. Pinche pendeja. Pinche pendeja gorda.
Like, but
No sabes ni madres.
higher
No
floor, yeah,
sabes ni
marbles.
pinche madre. She's
Way up.
so bad. Yeah.
Oh, really, Danielle?
Yeah, you get some all night.
Did I like Cuba? Yeah, I had a good time. I think it's beautiful. The beaches are amazing. I don't know why, Lonnie. Just always is.
Cállate, pinche gorda.
Barbara, because I'm fat and I'm asthmatic.
You're fat and asthmatic? Is that what she just said?
Really, Julia? You're not.
If was she saying somebody else said they were fat and asthmatic, or did she describe herself as fat and asthmatic? Because that would be about the two truest words I ever heard out of a gob. God, you're despicable. Pinche gorda.
Oh, really? 22 years in Dubai? Wow. It's true. It's true.
That's my way of getting over
it's hard.
senses.
I went down to a cavern. Oh, like why did you go to a cavern? You're in Kuwait. Bryson's lab. Kuwait is one of the safest places. There's like hardly any crime here, especially not drug cartels. Excuse me, miss. Welcome to Very Important Views. Ready to peace. Welcome, excuse me, miss.
Yeah, unlike Chantel Lilius, I actually did take time to Lilius. I actually took time to study Spanish. She says, "Whoa, that's quite a vocabulary you have, life." Yeah, I learned proper Spanish and the cussy words also. So yeah. So I could probably get through the YouTube censors and just call her pinche pendeja and ojete cabrona. And yeah, I have a very, very colorful Spanish language. I really dislike her. I do kind of hate her too sometimes, Kat. Yeah, I kind of dislike her too.
No, parasocial.
I'm impressed with the cursing. Well, thank you.
You're in the Dominican, really creepy. I wanted to go there at one point. Yeah, I hope you have a good time. Shiloh. Okay, Elaine. Have fun with Shiloh. That was easier than I thought. Hi, Angela.
Oh,
no, we don't do daylight savings here.
Colorful. Like, vete a la verga, pinche mujer de la cagante gente. Chinga su madre, puta. How about that?
This is spring forward this weekend. Oh, okay, so then you guys will be 7 or 8 hours behind.
I love some.
If you could do anything in the world, what would you do? Oh boy, I don't know.
Pretty decent.
Travel around and help people, like charities and stuff. I think right now.
Yeah,
I think that would be a good thing to do.
I
would feel good about myself if I did that stuff.
We're not going to let her know that. Oh shoot, sorry, I got her forward. Hold on, let me get her back. Oh, I was thinking I was up a little forward. Sorry, she was flashing her belly. Hold on, was she flashing something? Hold on, hold on. I went forward. Sorry. Yes, I don't want to tell her how much rice is in Mexico. When she finds out that like every dish has rice, she won't know what to do with herself. She'll be rolling over there. But we're keeping her out of Mexico. So we'll let her have her xenophobic nonsense. So she doesn't actually discover what a beautiful, wonderful country it is. We unfortunately, Canada, we are going to send her back to you at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, Brooke. Like you can't. I'm pretty sure most properties have to be owned by Kuwaitis. So I don't really care. I'm not like that's not like a priority for me owning a house. You know, I don't really want that burden if I want to travel. I don't know. I love rice pudding. Yes, I want to make some. It's called Rose Halib here. Big Angela sleeping. Yeah, he's resting. Oh, I don't know, Grace, which charity. I'd have to look into it. I would spread it around, I think. Nothing compared to St. Louis. Yeah, Steffi walk. Oh, maybe, yeah, not Nosferatu. Maybe if you have the money up front, who knows?
Girl, you had money. You squandered your money.
I just want you well. Thanks, no name. Yeah, I hope so. I'm going to try to work on it my best. Hello, Michelle.
Girl, you squandered your money.
No, tourists that don't serve alcohol here at all, Lonnie. I think in Dubai, if I'm not mistaken, but here, no. Well, Danielle, yeah, I'm a little bit afraid. Like, I would be afraid to travel to countries with, like, ISIS and stuff like that, for sure. But there's not that here, so. Same thing, yeah, I would be, 100%.
Oh, for goodness. Chantel. Chantel's like having conversations about terrorism. Girl, I think all conversations involving politics, you need to steer clear of. No, I'm not upset with you, Junebug. My dog thinks I'm getting upset with her.
I think anybody would be a little apprehensive, you know? I don't know.
It's not you, sweetie. It's me.
There have been, like, there was a couple Americans that were kidnapped recently. You didn't hear about that?
Oh, for goodness sake.
Spreading yeah. Fall behind, yeah.
Yes, there were.
Yeah, but yeah, Mexico is beautiful. And
it was a very sad story about two Americans, because they actually were from Virginia, that their boat had been held kidnapped, and I think the people took the boat, and the couple was unfortunately disposed of. So yeah, but you know, Chantel, it'd be nice if you didn't laugh when you explain these things, but you have a really bad habit of talking about serious subjects and laughing, because you don't seem to understand this. You don't read a room. It's one of the things that I think you really need to learn to do, is read the room.
Food and the people seem really nice for sure, yeah. Oh, no. What are you doing?
Oh, no.
Hello, guys. Whoa, my face. Babe, it's the ghost of Salah. No, keep the light off, yeah.
Oh.
Babe, can I have some water?
Oh, I just heard Salal's laugh, that laugh in the background. I mean, I have a terrible laugh too, but I heard him chuckling. Oh, gosh. I guess he's in there because, gosh, and she's having him show up a little bit more and more. Maybe she only streams at the times he shows up, so he can't appear.
From the fridgy fridge? Cool. Yeah. Thank you. With raisins, yeah, DFS. Mexico's amazing. Maybe I'll go someday, but I don't know.
Man.
Assalamu alaikum, by the way. How should I call you? Anything you want. Ayaku. Welcome salam. Go stays.
Oh no.
Hey, Salah's ghost. Oops.
Salah is gin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was my other bottle of water.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh. Well, it's a good job that he's doing the job that he's paid to complete, which is get her food. Maybe it's a takeout. Maybe that's why she's sitting there empty-handed. Maybe he picked up the Uber Eats. Maybe that's why she has to
turn one light off. Are you thirsty too?
He cackles.
Enjoy these.
Thank you. Angela, no, I didn't.
Are we hearing the door? He did. It's a grocery
Thanks,
haul.
Cynthia.
Oh God. Oh, glad that she has more original content.
Yeah. I'm afraid to go to like places when I hear that there's been an incident. Like even Dominican Republic, like there was remember there was like that big thing where like people were dying mysteriously, maybe from something poisoning in the alcohol or something. I don't know.
Oh God.
Nothing against the country.
Oh no, of course not, Chantel. That's why you mentioned it.
Even the Canadian travel websites say, like they tell you based on the region if you should travel or not. So they're racist or what because of that? Like no. Are there challenges to be a mixed weight couple? People judging Kelly, but other
Chantel, there's a difference between a country giving an advisory about travel to people who are considering travel to those countries, either for business or otherwise, pleasure, whatever. People do a variety of reasons for travel. The difference is, Chantel, you say one thing about a country that you've no experience of. It's usually something really xenophobic. It's usually something that you find not pleasant about that country. And then you sit and laugh about it. That's why, and it's not racism. It's called xenophobia. When you don't like another nation for being that nation. Racism is when you're actually saying it's because of somebody's race, okay? That's very different from being somebody's nationality. And the fact you don't even know the difference between xenophobia and racism is not surprising to me at all, actually.
not know.
Why would I be surprised?
Oh really? Steffi Walk? Cool.
She's a jerk. Oh,
I
absolutely.
say that when my daughter's like, oh yeah, creepy. Sorry.
Oh, pendeja.
I think it's fine now.
Pulled up in there.
Is Julia still enjoying her takeout bag? Yep. I still have it here. She sleeps in
I
it
got some
regularly.
choice words.
I can't get rid of it now because of that. You know?
A lot of them, actually.
Yeah, Lynn, I hear you. Welcome back. Nassau is nice. Bahamas. There's a lot of sharks. See, I'm scared to go there because of sharks. I'm really...
Did Chantel ever
Sweet
get into
kiddo.
the water at Cuba? I don't think so.
I can't stay on long tonight because I have to clean my kitchen. Like I have to. Ramadan is coming soon and I gotta set it up really well. I haven't gone through my
All the
cupboards
tests
like
and
properly at the
visitors
back of the
that
cupboards.
she has coming.
I'm short. I take a spoon and like move everything out in like a while, like from before Canada. So I don't know what's lurking up there.
Oh,
Probably some old flour and baking powder.
yeah.
Live stream my kitchen cleaning.
Yeah, she
Hi,
don't care
Joanne.
really about
Thank
the
you.
advisories. It seems like war.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Oh,
My favorite part is the guys. Do you think we can listen to the radio? Radio. His face was like pure joy when he was coming to troll. Film organizing the kitchen. You cannot drink water during the day in Ramadan, no. So fail. Rip ears. You swam with sharks and they didn't nibble on your toes? Yeah, I'm gonna.
and that's why it's not good for somebody like Chantel as a diabetic unmanaged not to be doing and participating in Ramadan. Is because she can't drink water in order to help dilute those blood sugars throughout the day either. It's very dangerous for her, but she don't care. She, you know, and she's, I mean, her whole focus seems to be around the food and all of this stuff. And it's not, I think, involving the true and aspects behind that specific period of time. And that doesn't surprise me. That she's not being reflective of any of her actual behaviors or what she's supposed to be doing during this time. She's
Talk
just
for Ramadan.
so bad. It's just because there's nothing to talk about.
Ghost face. I look like ghost face right now.
Sal is a real
I don't feel
fraud.
like putting on a
I
proper
should put a
hijab, so I just put my
poll
hoodie,
about whether he is a fraud.
which is fine. A lot of hijabis do it. Sometimes hijabis just grab a blanket when they go to the door. I'm like, go like this. You just have to cover yourself. Doesn't matter what. Laughter is the medicine. Yeah, I'm planning on cooking a lot for Ramadan.
Oh
Making
God,
different
plating.
Staples. You guys will see. Oh, I love cold water.
Oh God.
I love dolphins.
I wonder if we should put a poll about what she's going to cook that's going to be so special for Ramadan. Is it going to be, what is she wearing? It looks like she's wearing something to cover her head. And then she's got like a hoodie. She's actually got like 2 hoodies on. She's got like this like gray hoodie thing. And then she's got the cheetah stripe hoodie that she's not wearing over her head. So she's doubling up on hoodies. And then it looks like she got like a stocking on her head. It's a fashion statement. It's a statement. It certainly is a statement. Is he really in for the long con? I think he really is. I think Salau is in for the long game. And I think Chantel is too. I don't know if he's not been able to line up a better mark than Chantel. I have a feeling if Salau was able to find a female that would give him a call and give him the kind of ability to free reign, probably the way he does, in order just to play a role of this, husband and bring food to this person in the house, then until that arrangement, he gets a better arrangement, I think he's going to stay. He might have already realized that he's not getting to Canada, but he's still potentially, if he is even staying in that apartment in another room, he's still having the ability to be somewhere better than where he was living before. Or unless she's paying for another place, which was what we think, and he just comes and stops by and drops stuff off to her. And that works on that arrangement for her. Because she'd rather still think that she's whatever she is, Susie Homemaker out in Kuwait. than whatever this, it's wild. It's wild. So, Chris says she's giving him money. Oh, absolutely. And he hasn't got another woman giving him money yet. Not to her amount. It's an unholy marriage of the scuba cap and the hoodie. Oh, God, it's terrible. Her face is, absolutely pushing 500 pounds. But remember, she only like 360. She's lost weight. Hey, Natalia. Erica says it's an unholy marriage of a scuba cap and a hoodie. That's what that is. That's what that is, Bellatalia. That's what that thing is on Foodie's head. We're running out a little bit to go. We did glitters, and Foodie is telling us about all the countries around the world she hates.
Not a chicken. Potato face. Melissa, I watched you for a few years. I'll put you first. Thank you, Melissa, for the super chat. Yes, I will for sure. Thank you so much. Thanks, DFS, for being here. Grace, if you have like a medical reason you need to drink, you can. Thanks, Nicolina. Hoodies are fine, yeah. Hi, Susu. Please do rough face.
So we have a question here, and maybe the audience can chime in with some responses. So Rick Slick asked, on this question, what the hell is the point of all these arrangements? I don't understand the scam. She's beyond a responsibility. You're better off hanging out with a pack of hungry wolves. My thought is that she's got a lot more legal stuff to deal with in Canada than, she paid for her taxes, but whether she's making good on those payments is another thing. I feel like she's avoiding some of the responsibilities that she needs to be making in Canada because she kind of didn't pay her taxes and she hasn't done a lot of things correctly. So I think she says that. So I think it's beneficial for her not to be in Canada this time. I don't think she makes the money potentially to afford a place in Canada. I don't think she's, she eats most of her money away. I think she's benefiting for something by being out of Canada and not being in Canada. It's certainly not for her health because her health is terrible. and she found a romance scammer, and he is happy to continue doing the scam because he doesn't really have to do much other than, deliver food to this person. But there has to be something, and other than the pretense to of being married. But I think she's got a lot more going on in Canada, and that she cannot, really, she's going to get herself in a rock and a hard place, because that's the one thing you find if you've been living abroad for any length of time, traveling or being abroad or working abroad, if you're not really fully able to set roots, is that you're not able to start to gather assets in order to take care of yourself. It gets much more difficult. And then when you do need to return home, you may not return home with a lot of stuff. It could actually cost you more to be abroad at the end of the day. You might just make enough to kind of keep your standard of living, but you're not really substantially saving money or making a ton of money. Sometimes it can be difficult to do that. And so I think she's like got something more going on at home. Erica says, oh, good point on the taxes, legal issues in Canada. She's still desperate as heck for a man, though his salary is it for at least now. Exactly. So he's at least the reason she can stay. She'll put up with the nothing, almost like husband, because it's good for her. She feels like she's, one-upping people by saying she has a husband, which, those of us who've been married don't think that's a one-up always. And Rick says, do you all think she got caught up with a drug dealer drama back in Naughty, or maybe laying low for some shady people? 8 balls ain't cheap. Well, that is, I don't know if she was good for always paying her debts, but I know for sure you don't ever want to leave a dealer owing money. That's something you don't. And that's a good point. I think that she's got a little bit more happening over there. I figure he married her to get to Canada. I think he did. I think that is part of it. And then I think it ended up that I don't think he realized that she had 2 bankruptcies and owed taxes. And that potentially made it more difficult for him to be able to go to Canada with her. So he's just getting what he can get at the moment, which is an improved standard of living in Kuwait on her dime, while he gets to play husband for her ruse to her audience that she got all this in a bag of chips going on, because I think her life was pretty much imploding in Canada. And I think she's got a lot more issues there. A lot more issues, legally speaking. And it's much easier because I don't think the Canadians are quite as tough on, collecting their taxes, just to leave the country and avoid it. It's a much easier solution, And she just got out as fast as she could. I think it was to get back at Nada, but as this kind of persists on, you're like, why? Why does she stay there? Because I just don't think she's got a lot for her in Canada. Because this isn't a marriage. She's not doing anything in Kuwait. It's not like she's, working or being active or traveling or getting to know the country or anything. She's sitting in a shoebox all day long. God, I would be depressed. That's why we have to do glitters and stuff on occasion. Because I just get depressed. She fears she'll lose some of her YouTube audience. I don't know. They've been asking her, Pat, to go back to Canada because they prefer her content there. They don't like the Kuwait content because this is what she does all day. Is she sits here sanctimonious as hell, telling everybody how great she is doing charity work and this, that, and the other. Talks a big game, does shit all day, but eat and sleep. Just lives a fantasy life. She wishes she could be living everybody else's lives. She wishes she could be as healthy as most of us all here, this audience. She wishes. She wishes, man. She just wishes. You see? Yeah. There's so many different thoughts because she's not clear and she's not going to be. And that's what she enjoys. And that's part of what we enjoy, is trying to figure out her narcissistic nonsense. Because she lives in a cluster B. She's very narcissistic. She's no person. She's and if she goes back to Kuwait, I mean to Canada, she doesn't have any assets. She got that old Kia, man. So not only property, it's not like she bought a house, is renting it to Pete's, and having that pay the mortgage, pay a tax. She's just a hot mess, man. There's a lot of layers. Yeah, there's a lot of layers for somebody who's just, I don't think she has a bank account in Kuwait. I think you have to be a resident, Bella Italia. You cannot be a tourist and just open up an account. I don't think they have like offshore like that in Kuwait. Or Chantel doesn't have the type of money to get a bank account in Kuwait like that. And that wouldn't be the country. You would be somewhere else. If you were rich, you'd be out in the Seychelles or something. You want to be where there's Cayman
Never
Islands.
do it with water. I know. You think you're allowed to put water in your mouth and spit it out if your mouth gets dry. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie, but it's very important to, so like before you start fasting, you have to start fasting when Fajr comes, which is like around 6 a.m. or close to that, 5 something between. I don't know what time, depends. During Ramadan, I don't know what time it will be, but you have to like make sure your suhoor, it's like your breakfast before Fajr. So typically routine wise, you would get up at like 4 a.m., pray tahajjud, then like prepare.
Right. And this is what Chris says. It's hard to understand how she doesn't want a better life for herself. At least in Canada, she was having fun, getting high, eating fast food. And she said that about herself yesterday, that all she would do if she was in Canada, all her goals in Canada is to eat, get high, and play video games. Sounds great for a 40-year-old female. Just sounds like very ambitious. Not to say that everyone needs to have huge career ambitions. Okay. I'm like semi-retired at this point in my life, having worked many, many years. And I've never been like wanting to feel like I want to be the manager of a department of 3,000 people or something. I've never wanted to take on those types of stress or responsibility. I've had enough stress and responsibility caring for sick people. So maybe that's not the same. But she has never even really had a career but content creation. And her content is not even good. Her claim to fame is being just very messy. Very messy is her claim to fame. And it's just, oh my gosh, I just can't imagine a life so devoid. Right. I know. It's like all her thing is food. It's just around food. And of course, YouTube has been able to really, and it doesn't help that there's programs that, though we may not think it's glamorous, for other people, that could be seen as like glamorous to them. It's like those 600-pound life shows and stuff, just because of the notoriety. And so it's funny as a society how we've kind of heralded people who've really done nothing but put themselves into really bad health and we've really sorted to put these people on something and they've made a lot of money and they've been put a little bit on a pinnacle. And so TLC has a lot to answer for. That channel's garbage, absolute garbage, has the most garbage trash. And it just perpetuates the sort of people having low ambition, low self-control, low goals for themselves. That's what I feel like those channels show. I just in my mind, because people that they're not happy individuals. They don't feel fulfilled.
Suhoor, the meal, and have something with like a lot of hydrating food, like cucumbers, hydrating fruit, maybe watermelon. Drink a lot of water. Don't eat salty, fatty stuff that will like make you thirsty. No gum, no. And then you're okay. You get you kind of just, I don't know. It's not as bad as it seems.
Yeah, baleada chingada, absolutely. Baleada.
But yeah, people don't really typically hang out outside, Robin, in the summer.
And
it won't be that hot till after Ramadan this year, I don't think. If you would feel very sick, and you would get sick, then you'd be permitted to break the fast. If you feel okay, like you could go on, then that's when you have to endure it and persist. Angela, he's in his PJs.
Oh my goodness. I mean, does she even know when she does or doesn't feel sick at this point? I mean, I can't. How she probably feels on a daily basis, and how some of the majority of us feel on a daily basis, are nowhere can nowhere be near the same. This is a person who probably has a difficult time just getting into a shower. So she can't even bathe properly. That to me, she's got to smell sour. I mean, there's stories about the fact that she's not very hygienic smelling. And I can imagine with that place as small as it looks and how tiny that kitchen looks, I haven't seen what the bathroom looks like. She must have to hook up a hose to the sink and get some plastic on the floor. And I can imagine that she's got all this yeast between the folds of her skin because she's not being able to bathe correctly. And she does get moist. God, from those high blood sugars too. Oh, God. You feel nauseated looking at her? Yeah, she's a walking time bomb. Very swollen today. But she's going to get healthy. She's on a health journey every day.
Let's just say.
She doesn't need to be
His
fit.
sleeping attire.
She just wants to be healthy.
Sleep all day, bees all night. You know, you have to get presentable. Like, no, I don't care about that. Some people do. To go on cam. Please check with your doctor before fasting. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's hard to do, but I feel better, when I do it.
I mean, before she wouldn't go on without, I mean, she's obviously filtered. This is not how she looks. Even though this looks terrible, this is not her without filter. Okay? So she potentially looks worse. See, she's still got the cold makeup on. And I mean, girl, the one thing that you were supposed to be foodie beauty. So the one thing you were supposed to look was at least presentable. And now you're not even worried about that anymore. God.
You know, like that empty stomach feeling before you pig out because you're starving? Yeah, that's okay, Grace.
Yes.
You're welcome. For someone who does manual labor, yeah, maybe they're excused. It depends, you know? It's a personal choice between everybody. But you cannot be caught, like, you cannot be eating and drinking in public during fasting hours. Am I getting that right, babe? If you get seen, they'll probably get asked about it.
He's already left. We heard the door close.
I don't feel better without water now. I love water.
He dropped the groceries off and he was skedaddled. I heard the door close.
Hey, here. You want to hear the second most annoying sound in the world? Sure.
Oh, no, he's still there.
Your face.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying. No, not that.
Babe, I have a question.
Oh.
Okay. Are tourists allowed to eat during Ramadan in public? No way.
I think nobody.
Oh.
To eat in public.
Oh, okay.
They can eat, but in private.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Babe,
Oh, no, she doesn't.
you're funny. Cruelty to my ears.
No, Bella, she doesn't own a house in Canada. She doesn't own anything but a Kia. And we don't even know if the Kia paid off. She doesn't own a house. I said if she had been smart with her money that she's made over the years, she would have purchased a property and then rented it out to Pete. And he could have just trashed her property. But no, she doesn't own anything. This woman doesn't own anything. Two bankruptcies and owing like $30,000 in taxes in Canada. And she still has to pay taxes on what she earns now to somewhere. There is a country that is requiring tax payment on her YouTube income. So, no, this woman doesn't have anything. She doesn't have anything, girl. Nothing.
King bees are annoying. Yeah.
Lies.
Are you a beezer?
Just teasing, yeah.
Yes, that all is in there. Unfortunately.
Yeah, Ellie, no, you're not allowed water. Many religions do not drink water when fasting. Most people in my religion do not drink water when they fast. Yeah. Yeah, with Islam, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta give us headphone users a warning.
Terrible.
The emoji, Salah emojis. Blush Abaya? No, Ghostface, you can't. Babe, what age do children start fasting? After puberty? What age do children start fasting?
It's like from
Puberty?
like 10.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, young. Hi, Jamie and Camilla and Energy Egg.
I know,
Lizzie.
she looks like an injured turtle.
I drop off your
She
drinking
looks
game.
like a
You
turtle,
explain where the Miriam name came from. It's my Muslim name, Amy, when I
but
took my
not
shahada.
quite out the shell.
Your rice portioning under control. The reaction channels are going to be going crazy about Salah
Right.
not being in his own apartment. Time to go home, babe.
I know. She tries to threaten to do, oh gosh. She tries to threaten to do things to people all the time, and I already told her that if she tries to, say anything, especially here in the United States, her being a Canadian citizen, it still has to come through the U.S. Attorney General's office. So it's very expensive and not, very easy to do. So she can't really say anything about lawsuits to American citizens very easy. The only ones potentially are in Canada. But she's not even in the country to even start any type of legal action. And I don't think she's got the money or the means to do anything. All she can do is waste police time and more taxpayer money. That's all Chantel has as an option, is to go in months after an incident and file a false file report. That's about all she
Pack
got.
your bags.
She's a mess. Oh, she's a mess. She's a mess. I mean, it's not to sort of judge, but yeah, I'm going to judge her. Because I'm obviously a female who's not much older than she is. And so have not, been always at a time when women were equally paid comparatively. So sometimes we older women have actually come up through some tougher times. And she's a younger woman who's really grew up at a time in Canada, and certain amounts of time recently were very prosperous. So there were times that she could have taken advantage of times of prosperity in Canada. She's at that age. That could have happened where she had made enough money on YouTube, but she just, she literally just snorted and wasted her money away. I hate to say it like that, but that was the choice of where she chose to put her money. And at the time, while she was behaving obnoxiously on live camera on a platform like YouTube and making money for it, she obviously was making more money because her behavior was so bad. And that kind of fueled, obviously, her to want to continue that behavior. But the difficulty is, because she was in such a sort of wretched place, really, in her addictions, she ended up that money was just a waste. So there's people who literally worked and gave their hard-earned cash for her to blow on her addictions. And that to me is wild. That to me is wild too. All the super chats and stuff. Why you would want to because some people, I think, wanted to see her do harm to herself and enjoy it, because some people just kind of weird like that. But it's wild. All right, keep going, Chantel.
Bean bun.
And then we're
Binging during
done.
Ramadan? It has happened, but after during iftar, I've eaten a lot. You can be medically exempt from fasting, Danielle. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You're watching your cats. 5 cats.
I appreciate you saying that I can take some time to take a break. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Because there is a certain thing in our culture, and I'm in my mid-50s, and I had a lot of my aunts had retired because they had worked for the city, and at that point they had finished enough years of working in the city offices or fire departments that they could retire. And they did. They retired. And maybe they weren't getting Social Security, but they were getting their pensions from their jobs. And all of those things for us are gone nowadays. Very hard unless you're in a federal job to even get a good, retirement. And I think too, retirement in my mind is a little different, because we're expected to live and work till so much later in life, up until 72. And I'm thinking to myself, gosh, still working 40 hours a week. I am, just, to try to get to a certain, bigger income, to a bigger house, to more hours so I can have a fancier car. And I'm not very materialistic. And so I am at a very fortunate place where I do have my property, and my expenses are very low, that I can work, part-time. I can do this channel, which I love doing, which for a lot of people, they would love to be, content creating or live streaming and actually having an audience. And I am monetized. I do actually make a little bit of money from YouTube. Even with my small little channel, it's pretty cool. It's not like Chantel money or anything. I just started, but I've been fortunate that this does give me a little bit of little side spindies for Junebug treats and stuff. And, a little bit of help on my student loan debt for becoming a nurse. And so, that's a benefit of the channel. And, but yes, thank you for saying, Kat, that I could get some time, because I think knowing that we're going to live longer and stuff, I think if you do have an opportunity where I don't feel any guilt to it. I think there's a lot of things in my society that says I should feel guilty, especially here in the States, because people worry, especially here, like, oh God, you're not working, you have no health care, and that is so bad. That's one of the really tough things about the United States, is that without work, you don't have health care. So sometimes you just don't have a choice to not work in order to get healthcare. Whereas I've fixed a lot of my healthcare concerns recently, and I personally will just get labs drawn by myself, or I'll do self-pay with my providers. The dentist I never stopped going to. That's one I always will pay for. So yeah. And then I can at least work still and enjoy my home. My home has been chaos. I think we just overdo it sometimes, and I was definitely. According to Playboy, she made it. Wow. That's wild. Now, YouTube does take about 30% of that super chat. So when people send super chats, 30% goes to YouTube, which is why people sometimes do like the buy me a cup of coffee or do other types of tipping things in order to kind of get Google's hand out of the money. So Google would have got 30% of that. And then obviously whatever remaining would have been going to taxes. And I don't know what tax rate that would have been at. In the same career-wise vibe, own my own home with nothing owing, which is breathing space. It'll be setting into my 50s. Right. And I just kind of took a little bit of hiatus from my studies at the moment. And, but I have like 30 some credits. I'm a third of the way through my graduate program. So I'm not that far off, but it was getting really a lot. Anyway, can non-Muslims eat during the day? I think what they were saying is that if you are, I'm guessing if you are out in public, the correct thing to do would be obviously to abstain from eating, because that would be disrespectful in that time. I'm thinking if you're home and you're a non-Muslim and you're behind the privacy of your own doors, I think you could probably practice however you eat, however you chose to eat. So I think that's probably I'm sure that's probably how that is managed, because I would not assume that they would assume that people are there and would have to follow the practice of Ramadan. Because there's more to it than just not eating. There is and that's why Foodie is so bad when she talks about this. And I'm not of Muslim faith, but her focus is so much about the fasting and the food, which is a part of the Ramadan, but there's a reason why they do that. And that's the part, that's the key that she does not seem to understand or get.
7 cats? How's that going creepy?
She just doesn't get it. Right.
Oh, gallbladder surgery, Candace?
Well, we don't
it's not
know
bad if they're doing
yet.
laparoscopic.
We can't say. She has no
Okay,
help.
I gotta get out of here because I have to do some things. So stay tuned for video and possibly later for a Twitch stream. My Twitch is Miriam. Can you put the Twitch in the chat for me, please?
Well, Kat, if you're the problem is in the States, yeah, there are people who don't pay taxes, but it can catch up with you. You do not want to mess with the IRS. That there's a lot of playing with taxes in this country. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why, but yeah, I think because Canada's pretty, is a pretty fair country. She's not got the jail time face because she would be like in trouble with the IRS big time in this country. But I think she has a payment
Yalla.
plan. But
Yalla.
what
Excuse me, warning.
on the plane
Thanks, Sunny Lee.
is a whole nother story.
Do you ever miss driving in fast food? Thanks, Dirty. No, I hated those feelings. I hated that. I do miss
I know,
nachos
good
so
whole
bad.
story.
Thanks, Creepy. If you have to eat Alpha, then you can't eat, yeah. You miss the driving?
So
Her
I
eyes. There's something up with those eyes.
To go to your apartment.
my
He
third one
used
was
to
my
wear
fourth one.
glasses. and
Just the
she's
third
not
one.
worn
Okay.
glasses.
He has one
for
in every
years.
province here.
Oh my god. You got to be trolling.
By the way, Anashi, let me tell you why it's amazing.
No,
Okay?
no,
They have
Kat.
a chicken
see,
patty,
she
which is
didn't
all
threaten
white
to
breast
sue
meat,
me.
never any hard things in it. Never grizzled, just perfect.
No, Kat. See, she didn't threaten to sue me, but she started to talk about my channel and me not really being a nurse and stuff. And I know that Chantel just loves to throw out stuff about suing and laws and stalking and stuff. So I just basically let her know that any type of lawsuit has to go through the U.S. Attorney General's office. So good luck with that. Just to let her know.
Okay, guys, that it's fried to crisp perfection and dipped in the most delicious Nashi sauce I've ever had.
So I'm never
Okay?
going to be scared by
And
that
it's
type
just the right amount of
nonsense.
spicy. And then the brioche
Too
bun is
old
like
for
soft
that.
and sweet, a little bit sweet, like
I
brioche
have
is.
too many attorney friends.
And they put mayo, and Burger King mayo is amazing. It's tangy and salty. And then the Burger King pickles, in my opinion, are the best fast food pickles ever. Wendy's is the least best. But yeah. So the Nashi is amazing. But I am boycotting Burger King. Bailey Brooke, welcome to Very Important.
Oh, there's the sciatica. Girl, are you seriously sitting here talking about pickles? Right. I was how I wouldn't have put it past her to narc on dealers. Oh, she probably threatened some dealers too. I wouldn't be so sure. Yeah, she can only talk about food and pickles, surprisingly. And look at that sciatica in action. She just waves those arms in the air like she just don't care. Come on, Chantel, finish this out. We're almost done. Well, I'll let you go because we've been here for a while tonight.
Did you ever meet anyone weird as me before you met me? No, right, babe? Please start driving around with a baby car seat in your backseat just to mess with people. Babe, good idea. We should get like those little seats that they put babies in the backseat of cars. We should get one just to mess with people. And put Julia in it.
Dirtiest,
And how it
grimiest
has, his own
takeaway
taste, right?
places
So
here
nice
in the U.S.
Imagine buy a whole seat for hamster.
He does have a big butt. Teardrop! One of your daughter's birthday. Oh, yes. Please wish her happy birthday.
I guess that she had to start filming. You know what I think happened is that she woke up because she knew that Salah was going to get groceries. I still don't think he stays there. And I think he then stayed and he's contractually obligated to talk on her live. So she had to get cam up and get live. That's why she's got no food out. And then he's just coming out to do the grocery haul and drop off. And because I think the other time when he did the grocery haul, I think she caught him with Howie. So I feel like she gets him talking when he's dropping the food off.
Hey.
What a
Yes, have fun, Teardrop. Don't worry about it. Thanks for popping in.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, little Beezer.
Right.
How do I feel about Egypt? I like every country. I don't like, I'm just like paranoid with certain things. I was paranoid about Cuba too as well, actually. I don't know why, I just was. But Egypt, I wouldn't go by myself. That's for sure. I would go with my husband, yeah. I just hear some people can be pushy about selling things, and you know how I am. I have a hard time like asserting myself when people ask me for stuff. But Salah's Arabic, and he.
I'm fine. I'm cool. Thank you. No,
How would you say that in Arabic, like for someone to like?
Lala, shukran. ما في داعي.
ما في داعي? What does that mean?
No need. ما في داعي.
Lala shukran, ما في داعي. I can practice that. Lala shukran.
She doesn't even know how to say no, thank you yet in Arabic. Wouldn't that be like the basics that you would learn? It's like, Hi, hello, how are you? Yes, no, thank you, no, thank you. I would have thought that it would have been like just the basics, just for courtesy. She's so lazy.
Nice to hear Salah again. Yeah, I did, babe.
Bad.
Sweet
So
love.
lazy.
Can Salah come on camera?
Thank you, sweetheart.
No.
That's Julia.
Salah doesn't
What?
want to come on
She's in
camera.
her cagey cage?
Yeah.
Julia,
Boulevard.
where's Julia? I haven't seen Julia today.
I want to show her. Should I show her? Give me the whole cage. I'll carry it.
Oh,
Look, guys.
poor Howie.
What are you doing in here? You want to go get your
Oh,
nails cut?
Julia.
Say hi.
Stop
She's like, what's
touching that
happening here?
poor
Why are you
cat.
fat? Too much tuna and
Put
chicken.
the cat down.
Oh,
God.
she's heavy. Good. Say hi.
Why does she do the worst thing to animals, man? Poor cat. Try to get some respite in the crate away from this blob. Just stop it. God, she's a horrible human being.
Okay. Oh,
God.
she's freaking heavy. Yes, baby.
Trying
Yep.
to save
Bye.
herself.
You're in prison. Bye.
Hard
she
time
get in?
concerning herself. I
The door is
know.
open.
Yeah.
It's your job. She's a queen. She's a princess.
I
She
know.
feels cozy.
Yeah.
She's trying to
I
escape.
Cozy house.
Cozy cage. I should get turkey teeth. People go to Turkey and get like cheap and
Cat
they're not cheap,
trying
but
to
they're
get
affordable.
them out of there.
Teeth crowns. I could never shave my teeth down like that. That freaks me out.
There's tears, man.
Oh God.
Yeah, my eyes are always watery.
Yeah, she's an
Beautiful
effing
Miriam, you
mom.
know I adore you, so this is 100%. I don't want to cry. Yeah, no, Megan, it's because of my allergies.
She
of
was
the eyes.
seriously shaking the cat's cage, Des.
Yeah, Mary, I would like to visit Egypt. That's
Cat
not
was
playing. Hello,
trying to get away from
big girl.
madness.
Okay. What they do a lot in Turkey, they don't put spaces, and then you get bacteria and infection. Just no, I wouldn't do it. I'll take my irregular, ugly teeth over that any day.
Girl, your teeth look like they're getting bacteria and infection at your gum line, and you're going to give yourself endocarditis. I'm just giving you a heads up. Because your teeth, you don't even see a dentist. Don't even.
But
talk
to each their
about
own. I mean, they don't look too bad.
She's talking about
All right, I gotta go because we're
Getting
probably gonna be.
veneer.
I gotta go and do
like
that
she's
stuff
going to
there.
glow up
Food
with
of 5
some
minutes.
veneers.
We're getting like you'll
Because she
see. I'm
knows
gonna do a
her
video.
teeth are manky.
So
Ugh.
like a flipper. 5 more days till Ramadan. Are you gonna do Ramadan Ghostface? Clip on veneers, Crystal? Really? I don't have ugly
All
teeth.
right.
Thank you.
Just
Now we enter the 7th of March. So after 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. My birthday is during Ramadan. That's so special.
right.
Yeah. Will be the last 10 days of Ramadan.
Yeah.
The whole 10 days.
Meep, yes. I will be doing Twitch later. Miriam Plays Games is my Twitch.
Oh, I forget to put your link.
Oh, thanks. Ramadan Kareem. Bye, teardrop. You're Kermit the Hermit, Anna? Okay. Diva. Hello, Diva. Thank you. I'm feeling a lot better today. This is my 8th bottle of water.
And that's the thing too. So Catsy about having Catsy says here we're about to finish up, but we feel like we need to explain what we are worth. I understand. I did have to do a lot of the healthcare on my own weird ways. School, for example, kept me sometimes insured. And I know when I was working when I was starting to be an RN and I was working as a nanny, I didn't have health insurance. I had to use the public health services in the city to get vaccinations for school. I used to get but I had annual checkups there because I did show that I was low income at the time. So I was actually able to get health services. So I just had to wait longer. Didn't feel great. Obviously, you feel like you're, a failure in some ways because you're having to use public health services and stuff. But at the time, I was like, at least I can get access to public health services. It's a way to get to my nursing career. There's a lot of things, especially here in the US. And I don't think that, those of our, community members who are living in countries where there is access to public, health through national insurance, like I was familiar with having in the UK, and coming into a system like the US that has been changing drastically over the last 20 years. And it's not even the healthcare that our grandparents saw while they were working. Just the out-of-pocket costs, I mean, it's just outrageous. The amount of money I spent between surgeries and procedures and things that I needed to get done to help me breathe properly, to stop my legs from having pain and having to have worse issues in varicose veins in the future. So I was trying to get things taken care of early. And I spent a lot of money. It was very expensive. And the US, there's so much worth put to what you do for work and how much money you make and this, that, and the other. And I think it's, especially with our older generations, I think the younger generations are becoming more and more exhausted by it because the cost of living, I found out, and I'll just finish it up, about my hometown. They were saying just to buy a home now since 2020, the cost of the housing, I think, across the board for everybody, I saw it's just gone up exponentially. But they said here for Virginia Beach, to buy a home, a starter home, your income needs to be $102,000 a year. $102,000 a year. And I can promise you the average salary in Virginia Beach is not $102,000 a year. So that pretty much also says right there, unless you're a dual income family, you're alone, like someone like me, the chances of me buying a property as a single female in this day and age, unless you've really got a very well-to-do family and they're going to give you the down deposit, it's very hard to near impossible. And I think it's really tough. So I think we need to kind of not be so hard on ourselves. I think a lot of us have achieved a lot that our younger generations may not even achieve what we achieved. So we're, I think, in a very fortunate place, much more fortunate than some of our younger ones. You're in California, make really good money. You need a solid $300K for a house. I guess that's an income, $300K. Or is that for the down? Because I'm thinking that's almost like the salary. And in order to really afford a house in California and not to be house poor. Because on top of it, you still need often the car payments, the student loan debt payments, the car insurance, the food, electricity, internet, phone. I mean, the list of all the extras that we have that were bills that my grandmother never had to pay. It's wild, wild. Two people making about 600. Yeah, okay, it was income. Yes, isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? I don't think that some people, especially in the UK or places, can imagine that you need to be making close to $300,000 to think about purchasing a house. That's more than some doctors make on family practice. That's just such huge sums of money. It's very inflationary to my mind when you start thinking about those types of incomes. Because I remember, not even 30 years ago, somebody making 60K was a good income. Now, if you're not even making 100, people are like, oh, I have friends, it's just it's just wild. It sucks. It was affordable just in the 90s. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry, Paris. I know. And I can promise you, Virginia Beach isn't getting much better, girl, on the East Coast. It's not much better over on this side. It's not quite California, but I tell you that here in Virginia, man, and in Canada and Australia, I heard it's even worse. I mean, like, for the young people, the place in front of me, like, my condo would rent for $1,700 a month, and I still can't believe that. Anyway, let's finish out Miriam. She doesn't even have a house to talk about.
Birthday camping? Oh, yeah, inshallah. Love you both. Wonderful couple always. Thank you, Croons Loins.
Okay.
I don't want anything from
you
my
to
birthday.
drink in public. That's why I was
know.
it has to be public.
Just kidding. That's
okay.
A card with lots of money in it. Do you guys ever do that? Hi, Laurel. Bye, Laurel. Do you guys ever do that? Get birthday cards or Christmas cards? There's my Twitch, okay?
Fine.
Miriam plays games. It's pinned. And then you're like, does this card feel heavy?
I mean, that's the thing. In California, they do get paid well, but then there comes a point where then everything else raises against it. So even then your pay doesn't feel like you're getting paid well enough. Like, I mean, I was, obviously, as an RN, I can easily pick up contracts and make very good money very quick. I mean, it's just a benefit of having years of experience in my profession and the type of profession that I do. And that was a choice. I knew when I came into nursing, that was, one of the things about being here in the States and being a nurse is it's very well paid. And you can, maintain your license and come in and out. But even as a nurse, you'd be living in your van outside the hospital on that, type of California money.
And you have to pretend like you don't see the money when you're opening the card. It's just like all this money falls out and you're still reading the card. Oh, cool.
Your sisters in Harran.
You ever do that? I'm joking, guys. I mean, I did do that with cards, of course, like when I was in spoiled days. But now, honestly, when I was a kid, that meant more to me, the money in the card. I didn't care about the message. Now, having a card with a sweet message, personalized, is more valuable, Yes.
Oh,
I don't think people do.
Awesome.
Do they have Hallmark here? I don't even know. Whenever someone has, you don't celebrate birthdays really in Islam, eh? Not too much. I don't know. That's different. I'm not sure.
Depends on some people.
I don't know. My girlfriend Najma, who's a Muslim, she loved to do like big birthdays. I mean, I don't know. She makes some blanket statements.
It's alright, like just to spread the happiness.
Okay.
To Islam, no. Oh, things is
Okay. I gotta go, guys, because I gotta do a grocery haul. Okay, I'll see you after. I'm gonna do the haul, and then I'm gonna do a Twitch stream. So I'll announce on my community post when I'm gonna do it. So stay tuned. Okay. Thanks for being. Thank you very much for everybody for your generosity, and I'll see you in the next
Wow, too fast.
stream. Yeah, work at an auction.
Okay, guys, see you.
Bye, guys. Bye. Masalama.
Masalama.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. So she didn't really say much of anything. Except her usual continuation with the lies, acting like, I guess, Salal did whatever to make her happy, I guess. I don't know. Something happened. Because remember, we talked about the ring went missing. Well, the ring was off one day. Then her mood went all down. She told she was going back to Canada. And now Salal's back and they're all laughing and stuff. So I don't know. They obviously, something went down there for a minute. So that's good. Chantel will continue to sit and let's see how big she gets over Ramadan. How many pounds do you think she's going to gain over Ramadan? Oh my goodness. And she can't even buy a house in Kuwait because she's not a Kuwait national. And that happens in often in countries like Mexico. I believe there are certain restrictions about people from outside of, Mexico purchasing certain pieces of land and stuff. And, so, I mean, it's not just, she makes anyway. You out in Montana? Oh, yeah. Montana, all the West Coast here in the United States is just outrageous. And I know Australia is very expensive too. I saw this poor girl on YouTube today, and she had been living in the same house forever. And she finally got a letter from her landlord or somebody to say that she was not going to be able to stay in the house, that, I guess they were looking to sell or whatever reason. And she was now stuck with having to try to find a home in a really impossible market of very overpriced housing in a very and there's not much out there, and unfortunately we do have a culture that tells young people that they're failures if they don't buy property at a very young age. And I think we do need to kind of figure out how we're going to present that in our culture, because housing is absolutely outrageous. I mean, I don't know. When I bought my condo, I was making $27,000 a year. Was able to put like $12,000 down and buy a condo for $82,500. And that was like right near a beach. I mean, and that was like 21 years ago. And so the chances, and now I think this condo sells close to 300,000. So, and the condo fees are as much as my mortgage were. So it's like, I just think I feel bad. I do too. New Zealand is bright the roof too. I could never go back to the market again. Wow, 900,000. Well, I can let you know here at the oceanfront Virginia Beach in the areas that I live, the homes around me, and I cannot believe it. They're about, and this is not the rich. I mean, I'm in a nice part of the oceanfront, obviously, but there's different sections like the country club section, where the houses are, $5-10 million. And then there's this end, and they're not far from it. They're $800,000-900,000, and they have no yard. They have no yard. And the funny thing is they're in an area that when I was a kid growing up, and I was, because my family is also from this area, that would be like where the poor people lived. And now it's like an area that my family, who's had rental properties and have money, say that they can't afford to move into the area anymore. And so I am just glad that I didn't sell my home when I had a lot of friends who were realtors years ago. People were always trying to get me to sell my property. Always telling me to sell my property, always telling me to stick the money into like the legal gambling on Wall Street, to do all these sort of investor things. And in reality, I just needed to keep a roof over my head. And I had been tempted into the idea of, doing that and just renting and not having the stress. And we're seeing how rents are now. I'm kind of glad I didn't do that. So just, we need to change our stories to young people. Anyway, that's my soapbox. Let me get out of here. If you haven't had a chance to hit the likes, hit the subs and all that good stuff, please go ahead. We've been here for hours. My dog is wanting to be fed and wondering what I'm up to. I cannot believe I've been here for so long. I can't believe it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Sophia Paris, thank you for coming in. My voice is starting to go downhill, so I'm going to bring up my brand music. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all just stopping in, just saying, hey, look out for tomorrow. We'll see what we're up to. We'll see if Amberlynn, we'll do a circulation of the girlies, but we'll be back tomorrow night. We'll see you all tomorrow. I'm going to take me off the stage and I'm going to call it adieu.